Zubin, Wednesday morning on ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Oh, we have some juicy sports radio topics here on a Tuesday in Jacksonville. And not even really Jacksonville related so much, but so what? It's fun, right? Aaron Rodgers talking last night with Kenny Mayne, Julio Jones, stuff heats up. Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau. How terrific was that? Does golf need that? Whose side are you on? Is this a little 7th and 8th grade kind of feel to it? But we're here for it. All that and more. We're live at the baseball grounds, 121 Financial Park, Bragan Field. It has so many names, but it has some baseball tonight and plenty of intrigue with Sterling Marte making a rehab assignment for the Marlins down here with the Jumbo Shrimp. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp have been excellent so far this year. They just got back from a long road trip and performed very nicely. And then Wander Franco, if you pay attention to baseball, especially at the minor league level, but draft picks and rising stars, and that's, of course, affiliated with minor league baseball in such a big way. Well, Wander Franco will be here for the Durham Bulls. That's the affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays, and he is considered one of the next big stars in the sport. Think Fernando Tatis Jr. and what he's doing with San Diego. Well, could that be Wander Franco and the Tampa Bay Rays in coming years and maybe even months? Might be the only time to see Franco play here in Jacksonville because he's a short phone call away from going up and playing for the Tampa Bay Rays. So we'll see what happens with that, but plenty of intrigue here tonight at the baseball grounds with the Shrimp back home on a hot summery day here in late May. Brent Martineau here. Austin Lane says, listen, if the giraffe ain't there, I'm not coming out.
Pretty much, man. This is my official boycott.
And the giraffe isn't there. Heck, I couldn't even get in the back gate. I thought the giraffe was a security guy there. And last time we were here, the giraffe was there. The back gate was open, so I had to flip it around and come down the right field line instead as the Durham Bulls are here and stretching and getting ready for a little BP going on a little bit later. Man,
is there any kind of animal in?
No, there's nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing. I don't know. Like they said, flamingos had then started to parade out there instead of the giraffe, but I don't even see the flamingos. Like, what is going on with the zoo here at the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp?
I'm telling you, man, we need answers for sure. But, I mean, way to not, address the most important story of the day, and that's happy birthday to you, man.
Yeah, that is a big story. Major
Huge story.
Here.
Major headlines.
Should have put that in the title
all over
of the
social media.
Yeah. It's hard to keep your birthday from anyone, as you know.
Yes.
You've tried too.
I've tried so hard.
So appreciate all the thoughts and loves and texts and everything else. As you know, as we've discussed many times on the show, not a big birthday guy.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to go out of their way, but I do appreciate you taking the time and saying happy birthday at the texts and Facebook messages and all the rest. So we do appreciate it. But, hey, it feels like summer. It's going to heat up all week long. And, by the way, we do have the Icemen right across the road tonight in a big game. They've got a couple games at home today and tomorrow. So there's a lot going on locally. Jaguars not on the field today with OTAs. That happened yesterday. Will happen again tomorrow and Thursday. And since our show yesterday, we thought we'd be heading out there tomorrow. That's not the case. It's going to be Thursday now. They moved the media session to Thursday. Some more secretive stuff going on there tomorrow that we're not privy to see. So there won't be much of an update from Jags. I don't think Jags headquarters coming out the next 2 days. All right, I want to do a little show a little different today. Shrimp and Iceman, we mentioned that. A couple of quick hitters before we dive into these topics. But the biggest one being, how about the Brooks Koepka video, man? I mean, golf, again, it's like you're not locked into golf, but Sunday night with Phil Mickelson, you have to at least notice the scene and watch the scene. And now with this Brooks Koepka video going on, I mean, it's a gentleman's game. It's a gentleman's sport. But say hello to a rivalry and say hello to teammates on the Ryder Cup that we'll get. That's an interesting dynamic we'll talk about months from now. What was your take on the whole Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau video?
Apparently a lot of guys on the tour don't like Bryson DeChambeau, it seems like. I don't know. I mean, like, let's be honest. From the outside looking in, it could come off as childish a little bit. It could come off of just, I think he's still a little salty because he didn't win the tournament, whatever the case may be. But we're talking about it. It's all over social media. It's a trending topic. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with a little competitive rivalry. Now, usually when you have this type of setting, you have to have you have to have wins. You have to have competition, guys going back and forth, guys winning tournaments. That's what makes a big rivalry. But at the same time, the fact that I'm talking about it right now, the fact I know what's going on, and then I guess, I don't know, if Bryson DeChambeau clapped back with him doing some sort of shrug hybrid something that, I mean, I'll be honest.
It looked painful.
I'll be honest, if I'm his agent or I'm like his physical whoever the case may be, they have to have an intervention for Bryson DeChambeau, because there's no way he's going to make it another year if he continues to do those type of shrugs. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what the point of it is. I don't know why you take a video of it. Nevertheless, I think it's great for golf, and we're talking about it, so it's a plus.
Team Koepka, Team DeChambeau. Which one are you on?
After seeing Bryson DeChambeau do that workout, I'm Team Brooks Koepka all day. I'm Team ride or die on Brooks Koepka, because now I get it. Like, to me, Bryson DeChambeau was a feel-good story, right? Like, he gained all this weight, whether it was muscle or fat during, the quarantine period. Like, that got the eyes on golf a little bit. But I guess, like, what I didn't take into hand, though, was the fact that, like, how his peers would feel about the story and, like, how he would handle himself during the story. Now, I'm not going to let Brooks Koepka be the ultimate litmus test of, what Bryson DeChambeau is like. But, like, ever since I saw that video of Brooks Koepka kind of having, feeling a certain way about Bryson DeChambeau, I kind of went back a little bit and did a little research about how the other players feel about Bryson DeChambeau. And I guess a lot of guys don't really think too highly of him, let's just say. So I think I'm going to roll with Team Brooks Koepka here.
Yeah, if you think about, like, we've had rivalries with Phil and Tiger, of course, and that might have been more, not even as significant as everybody made it out to be. Although I think at times it was. It's certainly become way more friendly over the last 5 to 10 years, really. But we have some villains in the sport. Patrick Reed is kind of a villain in the sport. He's not a very likable figure in the sport. Bryson DeChambeau took that on. I think it's funny. I talked to somebody just yesterday at lunchtime, said the perception of him is maybe not as nicely perceived as who he really is. Like, there's somebody that had a very high opinion of him. And was like, well, the perception is not always that way. So I thought that was kind of interesting in the last 24 hours, given what's happened. And I think Brooks Koepka does have that a little bit. Brooks Koepka's different, man. I told you yesterday, I think the millennials love Koepka. I think there's something about him. He feels very Twitterish. you know, I don't know how to describe. He feels Twitterish to me. I even tweeted last night. I was like, he says what people want to tweet sometimes, you know. And we're in a golf world where things are kind of PC. It's a country club feel sometimes, and he kind of breaks that mold. DeChambeau feels maybe at times a little more of that country club feel persona, and that's not always looked upon in a high way by everybody. So I think it's a fascinating dynamic. I've told you many times in the last week, I don't know who I don't know sometimes about Koepka. I feel like I root for him at times, and other times I'm like, come on, man, this is a little much, but my takeaway from that whole video was, like, is DeChambeau in Koepka's head? Like, Koepka's the better golfer. He's the more proven golfer.
Yeah.
But I feel like from a mental warfare point of view, like, I feel like DeChambeau's in his head. Like, he made him stop an interview? Really? He got that ticked off that he walked by and said something?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can call it living rent-free in somebody's head, but, like, maybe the guy is just not liked. Like, maybe he really is just – I don't know, man. Like, the more I look into it and the more I see Bryson DeChambeau, the more he gives me just probably a guy I wouldn't hang out with. Now, I'm not sure if I'd hang out with Brooks Koepka either, but just the reaction that he provided and just that moment where he's just so annoyed that he had to stop the interview, like, to me, that's funny. And to me, that kind of paints the picture of Bryson DeChambeau a little bit. I mean, like, listen, if somebody walks past you and you have that reaction, I mean, I don't care if you're over-exaggerating or not, like, there's something up there. So yes. I would probably lean towards the side of Brooks Koepka, because I remember, I think this was last year, we were talking about Koepka, about how he's a great player, but he doesn't really have a personality. Like, we were talking about, like, how could we market Brooks Koepka to be a bigger name?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm not sure if he's doing it on his own accord or if it's just, obviously psychology taking over, but he seems to be that bigger name now with some of his reactions. Now, is he going about it the right way? Is he going about it like a Jake Paul would on YouTube? Probably. But at the end of the day, like, I think a lot of the PGA fan base is actually siding here with Brooks Koepka.
Well, and here's the thing. For golf, it's transcending the sport today, right? I mean, people are going to talk about it. And they're talking about golf on a Tuesday. You had Phil Mickelson yesterday. We're talking about golf and the sport and everything on Tuesday. It can't be bad for the sport. Does golf need a rivalry? We'll talk about that a little bit later. I wanted to hit on a couple of different topics here in the early part of the show because I think there's some fascinating storylines. Did you catch Kenny Mayne and Aaron Rodgers?
I did.
What did Aaron Rodgers do? Did you feel like he told you something? Did he feel like he muddied the situation? Do you come out of that interview outside of like the great close, by the way, by Kenny Mayne, which was fantastic?
Yeah.
Did you come away thinking Aaron Rodgers is never going to play for the Green Bay Packers again, or he will play for the Green Bay Packers again, or I'm just as confused as I was 2 weeks ago?
No, like I mean, truth be told, I don't think at least me personally, I didn't really learn that much because it's kind of what we've all known. Now, is Aaron Rodgers mad at Jordan Love? No, he seems to actually embrace Jordan Love, and he seems to, think he's a great teammate. It kind of came across like he's helping him out a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's mad at the people that took Jordan Love. That's the difference. Like, he's not mad at Jordan Love for the situation that transpired from drafting him in the first round. Aaron Rodgers is mad because they didn't give him the heads up when they did it. And that's kind of been the story since day one. So, like, I didn't really learn a lot from the interview. I get that Aaron Rodgers is upset. It's got nothing to do, I think, with his teammates. It's got everything to do with, kicking that ball on fourth down and not going for it. It's got everything to do with drafting a quarterback in the first round and not helping him out and letting him know about it. It's got everything to do with, the last skilled player taken in the first round being Aaron Rodgers. So it's almost a sense of like he just doesn't feel appreciated and he doesn't feel like they're having his back, even though he's playing at an extremely high level. And I think it's to the point where he decided, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. Now, once again, you know how I feel about it. I think he's going to be in the Packer uniform this up-and-coming season. I don't see him going anywhere. But I think this is a wake-up call for the front office and the organization to say, yes, I am the reigning MVP. Yes, I am one of the best quarterbacks in football right now. But I can't do this all myself. Like, you guys got to start understanding that I need help just like anybody else needs help. So you guys got to build stuff around me, set me up for success, or what are we even doing here?
Yeah, I thought it was somewhat revealing. Obviously, he got down to the root of it, which we didn't really know. We heard his side of it, I feel like, for like the first time. I mean, maybe it's sprinkled out there, but that was a little more in depth, right? I mean, again, how does he really love Jordan Love? I don't know about that, but I mean, he certainly isn't. The angst isn't about that. It's about the processes of everything that happened. He talked about people. He talked about culture. He really hammered that home. I thought it was a brilliant question by Kenny Mayne about, hey, do you work for the organization? Can you have a say in the organization if you're a player? The way he phrased the question, because I think there was some symmetry there on what he was exactly talking about with ESPN, and why he's leaving, if you read the Kenny Mayne stuff. So yeah. I thought it was a brilliant question the way he phrased it. I thought it was a good answer by Aaron Rodgers. I just don't know if I succinctly came out of it saying, well, he's definitely leaving the pack now, or he's definitely staying with the Packers. I'm still a little bit confused on where it might fall. But I thought it was a fascinating response and definitely pointed the finger at the front office. No ill will toward the coaching staff, toward the players, all those things, but definitely toward the front office. And I thought this part was fascinating to me. It's like he wouldn't be doing this if he didn't win the MVP. Did you catch that? Like, he basically said, hey, once I won the MVP, I felt like I could say something like this. Like, I'm still playing well. Like, I'm still doing my job to the best of ability. I'm doing my job to what they've paid me to do. That's why I make this kind of money. Now it's time for them to do their job better. Like, that's kind of what I got a sense out of. He wouldn't have been doing all this if he didn't even have that great season last year.
No, for sure. And you can theorize that the architect of that great season stemmed from them taking Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers being ticked off about it. Now, once again, it's not at Jordan Love. It's the fact that they didn't fill him in on it. I think this past season for Aaron Rodgers was a big middle finger to the organization saying, all right, you want to take a quarterback? Check out what I can do. So, like, that was a little extra added motivation, I feel like. Not that Aaron Rodgers needs it, but I felt like this past season, yeah, obviously it's about winning a Super Bowl and all this stuff, but I think the biggest goal for Aaron Rodgers was pointing the finger at the organization saying, look at how good I still am, and you guys still don't value me, you guys still don't respect me, and look what I'm doing here.
Yeah, other big topic, okay, that I'd like to we talked about this yesterday, but after we left the show, I was still thinking about Julio Jones a little bit. And then there's talk about the Patriots. It's talk about the Tennessee Titans. There's obviously the reality that he wants out. We floated, hey, would the Jags be interested? Does it make sense?
Yeah, so let's see here. betonline.ag.
Is it even money for the Patriots?
It's minus 150 for the Patriots, plus 800 for the San Francisco 49ers, plus 300 for the Titans, plus 750 for the Packers, and plus 700 for the Ravens. So the Patriots are the clear-cut favorite right now, and in second place comes the Tennessee Titans at plus 300. Kansas City Chiefs, not even on the board.
Not on the board. And the Jaguars weren't on the board that I saw the odds to as well. So but my thought was this. Julio Jones is definitely one of the players, even at 32 years old, $15 million, coming off some injuries, 3 years left, in a sport where everybody likes to get younger, where everybody picks up the phone. Everybody calls a meeting and has a conversation. Hey, this guy wants out. And again, the people inside the NFL circles probably known this for months, that he really, really wants out. But it was hammered home yesterday publicly, and he's not going to play for the Atlanta Falcons. I think that's crystal clear.
Yes.
Like Green Bay, Russell Wilson with Seattle, Green Bay and Rodgers. I don't think that's crystal clear, right? That hasn't been to me. In fact, I thought Wilson was staying with Seattle. I still think Rodgers is going to end up in Green Bay. I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. I can tell you this. I think, no doubt about it, Julio Jones is not staying in Atlanta. So where does he go? But I just find there's very few players that every team in the league probably calls about, no matter your situation. I mean, the Jags are 1-15 coming off that season, and they should still call about Julio Jones. He is that kind of player. That's how, Austin, even though Russell Wilson, I understand, but they should at least have the conversations and say, hey, what would it take? What would it look like? I think somebody proposed like a Laviska Shenault second rounder to Atlanta for Julio Jones. Like, does that make you think? Well, yeah, it makes me think. Sure. Absolutely, it makes me think. So that's my point, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, if you go to the quarterback route, like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, remember when Deshaun Watson, that stuff first came about, people were like, would you trade it for the number one pick? And people were like, no, I won't even entertain it. I want Trevor Lawrence here. He's cheaper. He might be even better, all that stuff. So even when the quarterbacks are available, a lot of teams have their guy. Well, with Julio Jones, he's one that everybody calls on, looks into, researches, says, hey, well, he's available maybe. How much would this help our team? Is it worth taking a peek? He's that kind of player, Austin.
Absolutely. Go ahead and take a peek if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. Get a nice package together. If you want to sprinkle Laviska Shenault and a couple draft picks on there to try to entice the Falcons, go ahead and do that. But reality is that it's not going to happen. It's a fantasy. It's just not. It's not feasible because, once again, and I kind of spoke on this on Friday a little bit. Yes, Julio Jones wants out of Atlanta, okay? And I think the Falcons understand that, and they're going to facilitate that for him. But there's still a relationship there between the Falcons and Julio Jones of what he's given that franchise. And Julio Jones has stated, obviously, that it's his goal to win a Super Bowl now. So that's right. That's why the 5 teams on the list right now in terms of Vegas or whatever that say the odds are the best. They're teams that could maybe contend to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe. Now the Titans, 49ers, we'll see. But keep in mind, Shanahan, there's a connection there with Julio Jones. But that's the whole point of this. I get that the Atlanta Falcons are probably going to ask for a king's ransom, not get it, and have to settle for something else, and that's fine. But they're also going to do right by Julio Jones because of what he's given them. Julio Jones isn't going to the Jaguars. Julio Jones isn't going to the Houston Texans. He's not going to go, he's not going to go to teams right now that can't feasibly make a Super Bowl just because I think they respect him too much. So that's why these teams like the Patriots, the Ravens, the Packers come up into play a little bit. So I understand every team's going to be doing their best to try to entertain a Julio Jones trade because that's what you got to do. If you're trying to win during the season, Julio Jones makes you better. But at the same time, you got to be realistic and say, do we have the team to facilitate to go to a Super Bowl to make him happy? If you're Jacksonville, probably not.
Yeah, I wonder who he goes to that scares you the most,
Well, Tennessee, if you're a Jaguars fan.
Yeah, specifically for the Jags, of course, if he goes in your division. I just wonder the league. I still think if he goes to the Patriots, I'm still a little, me and the Patriots, man. They're trying something totally different. They're spending a ton of money. They're piecing it together. Maybe it turns out great. I still I'm not in love with their quarterback situation. They're either playing a rookie or a washed-up guy, it looks like to me. So I don't Even if he went to the Patriots, my point being, I don't know if I'm super scared. If he goes to Arizona or if he goes to the Ravens, I'm like, whoa, okie dokie, that catches my attention, you know?
Yeah.
That's the difference for me. If he goes to Green Bay, if he goes to Seattle, like I suggested Seattle, if for your sake goes to Kansas City, it's like, holy cats, like that's a super team. So it's Julio Jones, very interesting. Later in the show, I do want to ask this question about Julio, and that is, did the Falcons do right by trading everything away, even though they didn't win a Super Bowl with Julio Jones way back in the day? Is the 10 years and all the receptions and touchdowns and a lot of wins that they got and the one trip to the Super Bowl worth everything they gave up? Like, would a team sign up to do that right now for a player like Julio for the next 10 years? We'll talk about that a little bit later. Broadcasting, very interesting right now. Kenny Mayne, I thought he delivered again yesterday in his final Sports Center. I think he's an interesting character in our sports culture, based on Sports Center being a part of our culture. And it was well done in his victory lap the last couple of weeks. And then did you see what's happening in the WWE? I want your reaction. Big news. You don't even know it yet, do you, Austin?
You know what? I'm not going to say I'm surprised. I understand the guy's good at what he does, but he was not made to call wrestling. I know what you're talking about. Okay,
we'll touch on that a little bit if you don't know anything with that story. There's some breaking news on that. Yes, on the WWE. There's breaking news. We got that coming up. We're live at the baseball grounds, 121 Financial Ballpark, Breaking Field, call it everything. You can listen to Shrimp, of course, right here on ESPN 690. They're back home this week in Jacksonville, and we're back on ESPN 690 right after this.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Sunshine this afternoon, temperatures well into the 80s at the beaches, but dropping off a little bit as that sea breeze picks up to the low 90s inland. Mostly clear and nice tonight, down into the 60s, and sunshine for tomorrow on Thursday, highs in the low to mid 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
CGC Water has been telling you, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it, because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer. We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com. Where else can you get lunch and brunch and booze and specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters Vodka at happy hour. Lunch and brunch and booze and specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class. There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 9. Head injuries are serious. You can get a brain injury from bad whiplash without even hitting your head. Sometimes symptoms of a traumatic brain injury can be subtle. Watch out for changes in personality or behavior. Your family may notice it first. At Rubenstein Law, we make sure all of your injuries are addressed, especially head injuries. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
Is your home not feeling very new anymore? Sick of that pink bathroom tile, popcorn ceilings, a stove older than you are? Whether it's repairs or reno, finance it smart with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, where you can borrow up to 90% of your home's appraised value. You've got good taste, but your block counters ain't cheap. So get to work and open a Honeydew HELOC with 1-to-1 Financial. When you do, we'll send you a free handyman tool set to get started. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
Max. I can't wake up and say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. That's not where I am right where I want to be.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Brent Martineau.
But we could really take this show off the rails if we wanted to go all like half politics, half sports.
Austin Lane.
I mean, have you been on Twitter lately? Do you want extra $100,000? Do you want a scholarship? Let's go politics when we get back here.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Golf course was asking a lot from you today, Brooks. What were you able to do well and put up that nice number?
Just ball struck my way around this place. Didn't putt well, but I don't think many guys are going to putt well with this wind. It's very tough. I don't know what other guys have said, or I just felt it difficult to read. You know, sometimes I lost my train of thought. Yeah, hearing that.
We're going to enjoy that in the TV compound.
Oh, man.
It was really good. Like, here's what I want to know about that. That was Brooks Koepka and the whole DeChambeau thing, if you hadn't heard it. So that video gets leaked out. Obviously, that's like a taped segment with Todd Lewis, and somebody got their hands on it and pushed it out there. Is that person getting a raise or getting fired?
Well, but it seemed because Koepka even said that he doesn't care if it gets out there or not.
I know. Well, but it wasn't like the Golf Channel pushed it out there.
Sure.
What I'm trying to figure out is what actually happened. Like, was it just because he was walking past them? Did he say something?
No, he said something. But
what happened was, so he's talking about what somebody gave me on Twitter when I asked that question is, like, the transcript of it was essentially he's talking about the putts and not a lot of putts going in, the wind, and DeChambeau's walking by him, and as he's walking by, he says, all you got to do is get on the right line or something like that. So that's kind of some of that. I'm paraphrasing, but so he basically, like, he's hearing him talk and answer the question, and it sounded like DeChambeau walking by is kind of commenting on what he's saying to Todd Lewis, the reporter.
Well, did you see DeChambeau, like, I guess golfers doing thing on Instagram? He commented in there saying, you can fix spike marks now. So I was wondering if, like, maybe he did something while he was walking up.
No, it's because he wears metal cleats or, like, metal spikes.
But is that why he was annoyed? Like, I was just so confused as to what he was annoyed with.
Brent, I was too initially. Doesn't DeChambeau, he's like one of the only guys on tour that wears metal spikes?
I don't know that, honestly. I watch a lot of golf, but I don't know that. So
golf expert Austin Lane.
Well, I will say this: not too many people do anymore.
Yeah.
And haven't for like a decade. They've gone to the soft spikes, and so maybe that was it. Austin. Again, I just had somebody reply back to me on Twitter when I asked that very question, and I saw a lot of people asking that question, and that was the answer I got. Could it have been the spikes? Like a football team going out of the locker room that got his attention. Again, I mean, I think this is that moment there says whether it's going to matter on the golf course or not. It shows me that DeChambeau is in Brooks Koepka's head. I mean, he can't stand him that much.
Yeah.
And we've all had people like that, that we cringe like, oh gosh, got to hear. Whether it's somebody in your class in 8th grade or something bigger than that. It feels very 7th and 8th grade to me.
But also you got to keep in mind, too, if you're rocking the metal spikes, it's going to be pretty loud, like if you're doing the interview.
During the interview.
So maybe that had something to do with it as well.
Are they he knows he's coming, right? Like he knows he's coming.
Yeah.
To your point, he says, all right, here. He doesn't even have to look.
Yeah.
He knows the metal spike guy is DeChambeau.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, the whole DeChambeau thing is somewhat polarizing, although I really feel like a lot of people have put their arms around what DeChambeau has done. I'm not saying they love the guy, but you can't help but notice what he did. He transformed his body, transformed his game, kind of changed the game over the last year a little bit. So there could be some angst behind that, and he's just got this way. Both guys have this way about them that is going to rub some people the wrong way. Now, it just depends what side you're on. But they are no doubt they're not the warmest of guys in just the way they present themselves. And I think that sets up something very unique. It's totally different than Phil and Tiger. Like Phil and Tiger was kind of the Koepka guy. And Phil was, Arnold Palmer and Ricky Fowler and everybody else. He's like this warm guy. He's engaging to everyone.
Yeah.
And so it's
Shades
not
are
that.
aggressive.
Yeah, shades are aggressive. The chewing gum is aggressive.
Yes.
But that was the rivalry, right? It's rote and beat the crap out of you,
Mm-hmm.
And Koepka has a little bit of that in him. But I'll say this. I think DeChambeau has a little bit of that in him, too. And he's like, listen, I've changed it. It's working. I'm showing you that I can do this, and I did something that nobody else has done. Look at my last couple of years. And so there isn't, in this kind of rivalry setting, there isn't the warm, engaging Phil, is my point. I don't know if that matters or not. But I think both players have some that really like him and some that really don't. Both are very polarizing. And in that respect, I think it has a little bit of Tiger Phil because it was one or the other for most people. I wasn't. I kind of like both guys, but I think a lot of people was one or the other. Either a Team Tiger or Team Phil. This one will be very interesting to watch. My question, I guess, quickly about this is, do we need it? Like, everybody's like, yeah, golf needs a rivalry. I had a lot of people tweet, say, hey, yeah, this is awesome. This is great for golf. I don't think it's ever bad for golf, but I will say this, Austin. I'm not sitting here watching golf after Phil wins and some of the young guns that they have and even some of the Tiger moments of the last few years when he was on the course and healthy and saying, man, golf's hurting. Golf really needs a rivalry. Man, what's going to save golf? Like, I don't really think that's the state of golf. I think golf is doing fine worldwide. But it certainly doesn't hurt to have a little bit of a rivalry in any sport.
No, it doesn't hurt, but it's just like with boxing. Like, I don't think boxing needs Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Now, it gets eyes on the sport, and it gets the casual audience talking about it, a lot like what's happening right now. Is this the game changer for me where it's like, well, I have to tune in now every single weekend and watch golf? Absolutely not. But, like, will I watch this from a distance and see what happens? More than likely, yeah. I mean, and hopefully, like, I don't want anybody to fight or anything, but if this ends in a fight, then so be it, because I'm curious to see who would win between these two. They're both pretty big specimens, so I'm very curious to say the least, but I don't think golf needs this per se, but it doesn't hurt.
Here's the thing. What's fascinating about this going forward is, I think, from a golf perspective, is the fact that they're both very good, Austin. And so to see them on a Sunday in contention and playing in the same group like we just saw Koepka and Mickelson is not out of the question. Like, it could happen 5 times in the next 10 years. That's how good these guys are. I also believe the dynamic of them in the Ryder Cup playing on the same team. They won't play in the same team. I don't think somebody will set them up for that.
Yeah.
But just on the same 12-man team is also fascinating. And that goes back to probably any team sport, though. There's always guys that people in the locker room don't necessarily love, but you do your job and you're around. I mean, at your workplace, do you absolutely love everybody? Probably not, but you might have to work with them to get the job done. I think that will be a little bit of the Ryder Cup feel, but I think there's some fascinating parts of that. I'll tell you what, man, the hero of this entire scene is in the U.S. Open. If whoever's setting that schedule, which is the USGA, just puts them in a grouping together in the first couple rounds.
Oh yeah, and then have like the mics or whatever. Like you can have like the ESPN 8 where you can tune in and just watch what they say back to each other. That'd be fantastic.
I mean, how good? Again, I love talking to you about this stuff because it's okay. Like you're admittedly you'll peek in on golf if it's a big deal like Sunday was, but you're not watching the first couple of rounds of the U.S. Open. You're going to pick them based off their bio and what they look like.
Correct.
But you're not watching. I got a feeling if it's Brooks Koepka DeChambeau Thursday at the U.S. Open, you're taking a closer look.
I'll definitely take a closer look. I'll probably check out the highlights on Twitter because that's what Twitter is for. But I'd definitely be a little more intrigued for sure.
Where does this go from here? In boxing or in MMA, you would have a fight.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, honestly,
I don't think we're going to have a fight. Okay, I don't think that would be good for the sport. I don't. Maybe it would be great entertainment, but I just don't think we're getting there.
No, for sure. But if someone gave me the Brooks Koepka treatment and I saw the video the next day, I'm gonna confront that person about it, and I'm be like, do we have a problem or what's going on here? Because the way just Brooks Koepka rolled the eyes and everything, and once again, kind of acting like a child. I kind of like it, but you're kind of acting like my 6-year-old. Yes. But at the same time, I'm taking that as a sign of disrespect. You're trying to, you're trying to talk behind my back and one up me. That can't happen. So if I'm Bryson, man, I'm at least confronting him about it, and then whatever happens after that happens after that. But I'm not just gonna let it slide. And by the way, you can do a lot more than, once again, I can't say this enough, posting an Instagram live video of you doing a workout that does nothing for you.
Yeah, that was odd. The whole thing is odd, right? Golf people in a public feud is kind of odd in general, because keep in mind, Phil and Tiger, it never really. Well, there are probably some circumstances where it was a little needle here or there, but there's never anything like this. I don't think. Somebody can probably bring something up, like, yeah, Brent, there was this moment, and maybe there was, but this just feels like such a moment where it's basically. I don't care if it's out there in the world that I don't like you, Bryson DeChambeau. It's just right in your face, Brooks Koepka saying, I don't like you, dude. And Bryson DeChambeau, I think the way he's built, the way he's put muscle on, the way he's played is probably I don't really care for you either, man. Mm-hmm. And we just don't get that, I think, publicly, vocally acknowledged by the parties in the sport of golf. I mean, it happens in football. It happens in baseball. It happens in most every sport. Just doesn't seem like it. Heck, it happens. I think even in tennis there are great rivalries like that. Yeah. It does not seem to happen in golf.
Yeah, man.
And it's just not that kind of sport. So the dynamic is even more so. It's not a physical sport at all.
Yeah, the way I see it, and I don't know. I'm giving these guys way too much credit here. But the way I see this, it's if there's a hip hop beef. If we're talking Drake versus Meek Mill. Okay. What happens? Somebody, someone has a diss track, and then somebody responds to it, and it goes back and forth until someone's declared the winner by the internet, because that's how you decide things. It's by Twitter and Instagram and all of that stuff.
That's a good call.
But, Brooks Koepka fires the first shot, and for whatever reason, I can't get over what DeChambeau did here, where it's all right, guys, let's go ahead and one-up him, and let's go ahead and go to the gym, which appears to be in my garage. I'll grab 90 pounds. I'm going to half curl them, not do anything, and then I'm going to have the quote, can't stop, won't stop. Was that the fire back? Who advised him to do that? Do you think Brooks Koepka's well, man, I better just take it easy now. This guy's half curling 90 pounds. We better be careful. No, what? It's just, I don't know. But see, this is great, though, because this is what people get so appealed by with Jake and Logan Paul. It's it's so cringeworthy that you can't look away.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's
yeah,
I don't know.
I wanted the flex of like a Ferrari in the background.
I mean, why not? To do your thing. And by the way, I'm trying to see what song he's playing here, too. He's playing a song I can't tell because,
he
was. It lists the song in the back, but it's too small.
I think he gave him credit.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to break, but we'll talk about it on the other side a little more. Adnan Virk out at WWE. You watch wrestling. I mean, is that a big story?
I mean, it's definitely a huge story because they just gave him the job. So
it's a big deal for him, right?
Oh, huge deal. Yeah, I mean, anytime that you get offered that job, they at least want to see it through, I feel like, a year because I'm sure it comes with a lot of money. But Vince McMahon, and obviously there's a lot of outcries on Twitter that he just wasn't doing a good job. And I agree with that. You don't want to see anybody lose their job, but when you hire a non-wrestling guy to commentate wrestling, it shows. And you can get help. You can, try to bone up on your knowledge the next couple months or so, but it's still going to be lacking. And definitely diehard wrestling fans who want to pick out everything that you do, it wasn't a good fit for him.
I don't understand how they didn't catch all that in the tryout process of this.
Yeah.
You get a feel for that pretty quick. I mean, this isn't Pat McAfee's role. This isn't like Tony Romo going to the booth. I mean, the guy played football.
Yeah.
This was totally out there, and I think people mentioned it right from the start. Talk a little bit about that and little Sunshine and Rainbows with Kenny Mayne. I thought that was pretty good stuff last night. How big of an impact on your sports world was Kenny Mayne? We discuss it next from the baseball grounds, Bragan Field, 121 Financial Park, Jumbo Shrimp, Durham Bulls coming up tonight. You can listen to it on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Tuesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. And you may want to file this under not worth reading into, but Aaron Rodgers didn't show up for voluntary Packers minicamp, which is voluntary, but Rodgers does forfeit $500,000 for not showing up. Here's Rob Demoski, ESPN Packers reporter, on the no-show.
Anybody who thought this wasn't a real beef between Rodgers and the organization, and believe me, there are some people who still didn't believe the story, should know now that it is real.
Former Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker Kelvin Smith, who was arrested in April of 2020, charged with unlawful sexual activity with certain minors, has pled no contest to child abuse and has been given 3 years probation. This is from his attorney. Smith retired from football in 2019. Don't forget to listen to your Jumbo Shrimp play the Durham Bulls tonight at 6:50 on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The Max Kellerman Show.
The Nets started out the season without James Harden, who's their second best player, and then have played recently without Kevin Durant, who's their best player. Also, when Kyrie joined the team, he and Harden had to figure things out. There was an adjustment period. And so the Nets' record does not reflect, their entire record does not reflect the team they've become.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Need to get your car serviced or maybe your oil changed? Take it to Honda of the Avenues. Their service department is top notch. I'm talking 5 stars. Their new express lane service for oil change is incredible and so fast. Plus, they'll even vacuum and wash your car when they're done. Right now, get a synthetic oil change and a multi-point inspection, which is good before you head out on the highway for those summer trips. Just $49.95. Honda of the Avenues, easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard, aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
You're invited to shop at the White Harvest Farms and Farmers Market every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a market of fresh and affordable farm-to-table produce that comes from a 10.5-acre urban located at 4850 Moncrief Road. There's volunteering, classes, and farming demonstrations. Also, if you're interested in becoming a vendor or volunteer, call 904-354-4162 or visit the White Harvest Farms Eventbrite page. White Harvest Farms wants to be your favorite produce market. This initiative benefits the Clara White Mission.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
At Movember, we're more than a month. To us, every day of the year is a chance to do more. To see less preventative cancers, less male suicide, help more men live happier, healthier, longer lives. We need your support. Give monthly at Movember.com.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Hey, it's Goose from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
A lot of people are counting on this interview, make some big news. So you could take Jeopardy, you're going to retire, you're going to demand a trade, you're going to show up on time. I mean, pick one. Give me something to work with here.
I'm just here so I won't get fined, Ken.
Good answer, Aaron Rodgers. Good answer. Later revealed a little bit more in an interview with Kenny Mayne. So long, Kenny Mayne from ESPN. I thought his departure was handled brilliantly. I just put out in a tweet. I said I don't like TV goodbyes often. I think they're very clunky. They're hard to pull off and make great. I'm not saying people haven't earned the right to have them and do them.
Yeah.
That's fine. And actually, I kind of feel like, heck, there have been some people in this market I think should have got more of a goodbye, from Sam Kavaris to, heck, Dan Hicken when he left his old station and joined us. So, I mean, I think those stations handled that very poorly, quite frankly. So I'm okay with them. I just say usually they're not great. They're just hard to do and hard to make very good. And I thought Kenny Mayne's the last couple of weeks, the dynamic of it was sensational. The way he did it, the way he told the story, the way he was forthright with the information, and the way they allowed him to be, really, and allowed him to stay on, knowing that they could trust him to just be him and have some fun with the goodbye and get a little bit of a victory lap in there. I thought it was very cool. I don't know how much you watched of that, Austin. I know you're not like a deep into the business guy, but I think from my viewpoint, someone who grew up around this business and has been in it for 20 years, I thought that was really well done. From Aaron Rodgers to Marshawn Lynch to Fred McGriff to the dry humor that Kenny Mayne already has. And I thought it was a very classy goodbye. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, obviously, he goes out on a high note, and he goes out, everybody talking about it with the Aaron Rodgers stuff.
Yeah.
I always see, like, as a kid growing up and when SportsCenter was, like, must-see TV, like, to me, it was two guys that were, like, above everybody else. And there's a lot of great guys that have come from ESPN, but it was Kenny Mayne and Stuart Scott. Like,
yeah.
And obviously the late Stuart Scott, he was more of like, he was the cool, he had all like this, the slangs and like all like the funny quips I used to always say during the highlights. And like he set himself apart with that. For me, Kenny Mayne, it was about the timing, like you said, like the dry sense of humor where, if you didn't pick up on it, you would miss it. But, like, he would throw so many great one-liners in there, and he would do them with an effort that was like the guy's not even trying. It's almost like he didn't even care what he was doing. Like, he's talking to millions and millions of people, but he had the demeanor where it's just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I'm talking sports. It's not that serious. Let's do the highlights. And, like, I always respected that about Kenny Mayne. And, like, it's something that I try to draw to my own sometimes when I'm on the radio where it's like, don't take things so seriously. Have fun with it. Have your own style. And Kenny Mayne definitely had that.
Yeah, and I think that's so appreciated by people. I got to be honest with you. You know me, man. I'm not pop culture guy, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not like – and so some of even his references I felt like I'd have to look up sometimes, okay?
For sure.
And I'm like grow up in the business guy. I know I want to do this since I was 12 years old. Bob Costas, I watched him closely. So it was a departure from kind of what I grew up on so much. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, and if Kenny was right here listening, I would say, listen, I was like locked into Kenny Mayne all the time. I wasn't. That wasn't kind of how I grew up on it, but at the same time, you appreciated the variance of it. It was so different, and different in our business is king. And the appreciation for it that I think maybe even took some time and didn't even realize at times that it was 27 years worth for Kenny Mayne. I think you're talking from generation to generation. He did a fantastic job of keeping those generations in touch with one personality. I think you're right. I think there's a lot of Stuart Scott, Kenny Mayne.
Dan Patrick
group,
was great,
for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah. And listen, remember when we were at the Super Bowl a couple years ago? I think it was, where were we, Atlanta?
Yeah.
And we had Kenny Mayne on.
Yeah.
And Kenny Mayne was terrific on the air, but I thought he was great off the air. I don't know Kenny Mayne very well. We had him on this one time. It was set up through ESPN, and we do that a lot, especially at the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But I remember him because we talked a bunch off air after, and I thought he was really cool, down to earth, talking about his foundation and helping veterans. And then he gave us his number.
Yeah.
Like, he gave us his number, like, yeah, call me anytime if you want to come on. Well, I can tell you this. I'm not saying personalities are bad guys, but they don't usually do that. And he was like, hey, yeah, if you need me on. But he was sharing just like how his contract works a little bit and how many days he's on. I was just asking him a little bit of inside the business stuff. And I thought he was tremendous. So I can see why he has developed a lot of relationships inside the business with athletes too. And I'm also always fascinated with that part of it. I'm fascinated that Aaron Rodgers thinks so much of Kenny Mayne. Yeah. Marshawn Lynch thinks so much of Kenny Mayne, Fred McGriff, all those relationships. The Seattle Seahawks put out a very cool tweet. So good for Kenny Mayne. Congratulations to him. Wish him the best. And as I've read more about him, I've learned more about him. He's really a brilliant mind in the production aspect. There's so many smart people that work at ESPN. ESPN gets hammered a lot, but there are smart people that work and have worked for ESPN. I think he's one of them. He really loves the commercial aspect of our business, and I think is going to venture into some of that along with some other opportunities that he'll have. But pretty cool. I just thought the whole thing was worth a note. We don't really talk about broadcasting very much, but I thought the Kenny Mayne thing was very good. But also it's another link to the past, right? The business has changed. I think even SportsCenter has changed, and with time, you lose some links to the past. And I would say 27 years at ESPN, how many kids grew up on Kenny Mayne doing SportsCenter, especially the late night edition? Well, that's what they'll think about, like him doing those SportsCenters, regardless of wherever you see Kenny Mayne now for the next 10 or 15 years.
Exactly, man. I mean, and it begs the question as well. Like, when we go back and we look at some of the great guys that come from, ESPN and SportsCenter, like John Anderson, you had Rich Eisen. Do you get the sense, is that old way kind of done? Because, to me, growing up, they were celebs, they were really pop culture. And now that, we have social media and I'm not sure what the ratings of SportsCenter do now and everything. And don't get it twisted. Like the next batch of up-and-coming talent at ESPN, they're fantastic. But do you think that, I guess you got Stephen A. Smith and guys like that, but do you think those guys, the Stuart Scotts, the Chris Bermans, all those guys, is that whole thing done, Brent? Or do you think the next generation up and coming will kind of have their own thing, their own time in the spotlight?
Yeah, I think they could.
You see what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think there's so much more competition, man. It's like local TV. It just isn't what it used to be.
Sure.
There's just so much competition. People just aren't at home watching their local CBS, NBC, ABC affiliates. And so I think ESPN has run into that. They've run into competition, and it's just not the way it used to be. That doesn't mean it can't be good. It can't be great. It can't be good personalities. I think they'll continue to produce a lot of those folks, but that link to the way it used to be is guys like Kenny Mayne, Chris Berman.
Yeah.
Obviously, Eisen hasn't been there, and Patrick haven't been there in a while, but those guys can't hang on forever. That's just the reality of it. My sunshine and rainbows for the day. Kenny Mayne, wish him luck in his next endeavor. It's brought to you by A1A Solar each and every day on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000, a reasonable first-year expectation. Be a part of an awesome company, A1A Solar. Visit A1ASolar.com. We'll be right back from the baseball grounds on ESPN 690.
I'm a call it like I see it guy. Sometimes that twists the competition's panties in a bunch. Sometimes it causes pearl clutching. But it always lets you listeners know the truth. Last January, I told you winter was slow and you could get a deal on upgraded systems because it's true. And here's the truth about summer. Most AC breakdowns happen from stress testing during that first string of scorching hot days in summer, causing every reputable AC company to be booked out at least 2 or more days. Any company not booked solid in summer isn't a company you want in your home. But who wants to sweat it out 2, 3, or more nights waiting for a new AC? At Griffin Service, we've solved the logistics to fix that problem, because we fix what others can't. We call it our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight program. So if you forgot the tune-up in spring and things go to turd buckets in summer, don't sweat it out waiting. Call Griffin for our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight guarantee, exclusively at
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
You know what's good today? Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. If your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's working hard every day and getting almost everyone approved. With over 300 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from, Arlington has what you're looking for. So much selection. You also get a 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Now that's good. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Oh boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
Hello, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 8, demand the best service. You're entitled to it. Rubenstein Law cares about you. Our team is dedicated to providing the best legal experience during this difficult period. Cases do take time to get you the result you deserve, but we work diligently on those cases. Keep in touch with you and return your phone calls as quickly as possible. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
I'm Christine Lisi. Today marked the first time since November Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was on the field for a team activity since tearing multiple ligaments in his knee last fall. Burrow, wearing a brace on the knee, threw passes, participated in today's OTA. He says he's roughly 80 to 85% after surgery. His goal is to be a full go for training camp. Lakers hoping to have big man Anthony Davis back on track tonight for Game 2 of their first-round NBA playoff series against the Suns. Davis, subpar in the Game 1 loss, shot 5 of 16, has said he needs to step up and have more urgency in his game. Davis must put his mark on tonight's game in Phoenix, believes ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
And I'm talking about establish himself in the paint. Be in the paint. Don't be allergic to it. Don't settle for jumpers. Be Anthony Marshall Davis that we saw last year in the postseason that dominated around the basket, then attacked the offensive glass. There was a live threat at the rim.
NHL Capitals captain Alex Ovechkin expressing confidence he'll reach a new contract with the team soon. He's set to be an unrestricted free agent this summer.
What? Just 15 seconds to talk about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea? That smooth taste of real brewed iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol? What? We started already? Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for it in the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I think sometimes people forget what really makes an organization. And, history is important, legacy of so many people who've come before you. But the people, that's the most important thing. The people make an organization. People make a business. And sometimes that gets forgotten. Culture is built brick by brick, the foundation of it by the people. Not by the organization, not by the building, not by the corporation. It's built by the people. And I've been fortunate to play with a number of amazing, amazing people, and got to work for some amazing people as well. And it's those people that build the foundation of those entities. And I think sometimes we forget that.
That was a good answer by Aaron Rodgers with Kenny Mayne last night on SportsCenter. I don't know if it told us a whole lot. It gave us a little bit of a background. By the way, what kind of diet is Aaron Rodgers on? What was that again? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he said he did some cleanse, but I couldn't make the name out of the cleanse he was talking about. And so he did it for, I want to say he did it for like a week and a half or 2 weeks, but I mean, you can noticeably tell he's lost weight.
Yeah. I wonder, there's like a cayenne pepper cleanse or something like that.
Hey, Kuz,
you've got
the sound. Let's see if Austin knows all this stuff usually. Let's see if he can pick it up.
I could see it.
The Derby, I got a lot of comments about the hat I wore, not just from the people in my party, but, sports fans around there. Saw some great memes about it. I always appreciate that. From the time I did Jeopardy to the time I went to the Derby, I lost like 15 pounds. I did this amazing Ayurvedic cleanse, which I'm sure they won't air any of this anyway, so I'm just going to keep talking about it. A great Ayurvedic cleanse, and it just changed my insides. My body feels amazing. The inflammation is totally out of my body, but the problem was I didn't quite fit in some of the suits I was wearing, so I kind of had some oversized suits on. And
I was talking about the hair, the bad boy hair look.
No, I just talking about the whole thing. So I need to get kind of refitted. I'm a little slimmer, a little trimmer.
So that's, what did he say? Ayurvedic?
Yeah.
Ayurvedic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking it up right now.
Should I try it?
I don't know what it is.
I'm 44. Should I try it? Lost 15 pounds.
I'm trying to see what summary doctor. I'd go for it, man. I'm trying to see like what goes into it.
Yeah, because he looks like he's got the build of like
here
Matthew McConaughey now. I mean, he doesn't look like a football player anymore. Like I thought he may have lost too much.
Okay, so it's a bunch of words that I can't pronounce. That's what goes in. Like it's like a tea. It's like an herbal kind of tea thing.
Okay.
And that's all that you drink for, I guess it was a week and a half that he was talking about.
So it's a liquid one.
Yeah.
Because the cleanses usually are, right?
Yep. I'm not going to lie. It sounds super aggressive.
Well, it has to be aggressive. He lost 15 pounds. I wonder how long you have to do it for. I was interested in that.
Yeah. But to be fair, I've never heard of that one before. So
okay.
Yeah.
What are the other ones? Aren't there some like, what is it all like fruit juice? Not fruit juice, but like.
Oh, here we go.
Don't they have the juice cleanse? Like, what are the juice cleanse? Like, where you probably just like eating kale and.
No, yeah, exactly.
In a blender.
Yeah. So check this out. So I have the whole write-up right here if you want to quick go over it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So there's there's 3 phases, Brent. First, you have to go through the preparation phase. In that phase, you have to cut out all meats except eggs, dairy, processed packaged manufactured foods, sugar, beans, caffeine, and alcohol. So all those things get cut out. Kuz is just already, he's out.
I was out with when you said the coffee. I was good. You're like, oh, eggs? I'm set.
So a sample.
So you have to have coffee out?
Yeah, so a sample week 1 menu could involve, like for breakfast, you have oatmeal with chopped apples and cinnamon. And for lunch and dinner, you can have vegetable soup and a salad topped with shredded beets and a small bowl of rice. That doesn't sound good, but whatever.
Sounds like you'd be pretty hungry.
I can do that.
I love how they're trying to make it appeal. Like, ooh, and go ahead and top it off with a nice beet, wine, vinaigrette salad, whatever. So phase 2 is the cleanse part. And now that your gut has gotten the rest that it needs in order for the digestion part, your daily menu consists of ghee. You know what ghee is? Ghee is just basically butter. It's like non-processed butter and kachari. So you can eat bread and kachari, which I'm not sure what kachari is, but there you go. So basically you drink butter every morning, and then you get kachari, which once again, I'm not sure what that is.
You drink butter every morning?
No, seriously, yeah. And then phase 3 is the rejuvenation phase. And that's the phase where you go back to your normal habits. And it's
I like that.
And it's supposed to make you feel revitalized.
To be fair,
but hey, if you drink butter,
but
for
people
like
do
a
that.
week, yeah, you're good. Like, hey, I feel like a new person.
Well, I would say like a lot of people will put butter in their coffee.
True. No, I mean butter. Like,
do they really?
Oh, that's a thing, yeah.
They call it bulletproof coffee. Brent, come on, get younger, man.
You haven't had bulletproof?
I have 8 coffees a day, and I don't have butter in any of them.
Maybe you would only need 1 if you put butter in it.
So cacciatore is actually it's yellow split peas, grain brown rice, Greek yogurt, and zucchini.
Wow. So it's like a mixture.
there's
Okay, I don't mind. By the way, all that food you mentioned, I don't mind. The coffee part is going to hurt. I'm already on like the no sugar thing for the most part.
Yeah.
Which I tried for a while.
You're addicted to gummy bears, and you're off the sugar thing. Okay,
it's true.
Okay.
I am addicted to gummy bears.
Okay. Go
Skittles.
on. Yeah.
So what I want to know though, one more thing on this, and we'll get back to sports in a moment, but this is important as I turn 44 today. How long is the first and second stage? Because the normal rejuvenation stage I like.
It doesn't necessarily say, honestly, it doesn't say how long each phase is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got to tell me that part before I'm in.
Well, hey, I don't know what you want me to tell you, man. I'm just telling you the phases. I'm not sure how long they last for.
I can't imagine shopping for that diet, though. It's like I don't even know what part of the grocery store to go in.
Butter and couscous or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. But I guess this is originated. It's like it's based off of an Indian fast.
Okay.
So yeah.
I thought about doing those before. A lot of people like them when you do them.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of players out there that'll do like some sort of fast, whether it's like a juice cleanse or whether it's like I said, there's like a cayenne pepper cleanse. But a lot of players swear by it because like in the off season we have some time to just kind of chill. A lot of guys will do that. I know Eben Britton was huge on doing that.
And on top of that, this Aaron Rodgers stuff coming out with a cleanse on top of the fasting for 36 hours of Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's inspiring some people to try it.
For sure.
So who knows? Hey,
you should try it, Brent.
Which one?
No, don't do the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. That's way too aggressive. Don't drink butter. No.
I know, but I could really walk everybody through that one for like on the show. Be a daily thing.
We're just gonna follow you through your process. But then what happens when that caffeine kicks in? And you don't have it.
Yeah, that's a headache waiting to happen. That's actually the only thing. Like, you can just feel the way your body's going to feel. I used to be like that with Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't have it for a while.
And see,
then,
like, we're on the verge of football season, man, so we need you all systems go here.
But now's the time to do it, though. I mean, that's why you got to do it now. And this is actually the best time to diet or fast, I think, in the summer, because it's so hot that you really don't get that hungry. Like, I don't get that hungry when it's hot.
True.
And you feel like you're sweating it off anyway.
That's a good point.
You know, so I actually think it's a good time. The only bad thing in my life for this time period to do something like that is we're on the road a lot with travel ball.
True.
And so the hardest time to eat well is on the road.
That's why I think you should do the 36-hour fast.
Yeah, 30. I think I could do that, actually.
I think you could, too. I think you can still drink coffee. Now, I'm not sure that's the smartest idea, just to have a belly full of coffee and nothing else. I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything, but I feel like that's not a good idea. But, yeah, I say you try that.
Tomorrow on the show, Phil Mickelson takes us inside his diet. Because what I'd like to know is 36-hour fast, and then what? Does he eat whatever he wants, or is he watching what he eats?
Oh, I feel like I hope you eat whatever you want then after that, right?
Oh, really?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to fast for 36 hours and essentially just, like, feel miserable for that long and then say, hey, I'm going to help myself to just a salad? No, man. Go get your pizzas. Go get your burgers. Go get your beers.
I think I could
yourself.
do 36-hour fast.
I think you could, too.
I think I could.
I think it'd be rough for you, but I think you can do it.
Yeah, and he said he does that every week, right? That's a weekly thing.
For sure.
Wow. Yeah, I could. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll try it.
Well, make sure you let us all know when you start doing this so we can follow along with you.
I got a question for should you try. Would you try, if you're the Atlanta Falcons or anybody else, to give up the capital they gave up to get Julio Jones back in the day? Would you do that again to get the production, the career of Julio Jones that they got for, about a decade?
Yeah.
Even though it didn't come with a ring. It went to an appearance and a 28-3 lead, but it didn't come with a ring. Would you say Atlanta still won that deal? Now, I understand that if you look at what Cleveland drafted, it is crystal clear they didn't get much, okay? But I'm talking about the draft capital.
Yeah.
And let's just say the Baltimore Ravens were the ones, and they picked good,
yeah.
and drafted well. Was Julio Jones worth it to the Atlanta Falcons, even though they never won a ring with him?
So I think he definitely was. Now, there was a lot that was given up. But if you go back the past decade and you look at how, and once again, this past decade, you have Tom Brady. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have, I think, because I had this brought up and I lost it. But, like, Matt Ryan finished, I'm sorry, so you had Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. Those were, like, the unequivocally top three quarterbacks in the league. Now, let me ask you a question, Brent. Ben Roethlisberger, is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he will be, yes.
What about Phillip Rivers?
I think he will be, yes.
Okay.
I know there's debate, but I think he will.
What about Matt Ryan?
I think the numbers at the end of the day, being the fact that Matty Ice is 35 years old, will say yes.
Okay. So here's where I'm going with this. Since 2010, in every quarterback category, it's Drew Brees, Tom Brady, or Aaron Rodgers that leads it. After them is Matt Ryan in every category, whether it's touchdowns, completion percentage, yards, things like that. So when you see the success that Matt Ryan's had the past decade and some change, and then you take that into account of, okay, so if he's having that much success, they've had various running games every once in a while, that means that in terms of team offense, they were probably at least top 10 every single year since the past decade, if not a lot higher. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that has to do with Julio Jones, obviously. So I think if you look into account of just what Julio Jones brought to that team, how he helped Matt Ryan, how he put Matt Ryan in echelon when we're talking about him with numbers comparable in some stats to an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees. And he's ahead of guys like Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Russell Wilson. Keep in mind Russell Wilson, got a later start. But all that being into account, yeah, I think it was worth it.
Yeah, do me a favor while I say my 2 cents on this. Look up the record of the Falcons during the Julio regime. So over the last 10 years. Just give me like the win-loss every year, if you don't mind, in a second.
Okay, no problem.
So season by season, Falcons since whenever he got drafted. But here's what I would say. I tend to agree with you. I think a lot of people would be like, first of all, they were stunned when they did it. And if you could have all the first-round picks and the second-round picks and all the capital that they gave up, I think even today, if I present you that for Jalen Waddle, if you're whoever, you would say, no, give me the picks, right?
Yeah.
And this is a different day and age because receiver, I feel like there's so many good ones. And so it was a little different back then when you can get a Julio Jones. And Julio Jones still stands out to be different even though we've had a bunch of really good wide receivers. So I tend to agree with you on the fact, my 2 big points is Julio Jones, first of all, delivered. So beyond that, my 2 points are this. I think if you, let's just say I have 6 draft picks, I think the chances are you're going to only hit on 3 of those anyway. It doesn't mean you're going to bat 1,000. Cleveland actually did much worse than that. So I think it probably is really 3 picks versus 6 in the grand scheme, whether Atlanta was picking or Cleveland was picking or the Ravens are picking. You're not going to hit on all those picks. It doesn't add up to that. You can't just guarantee where I could guarantee 1,000-yard receiving and 80 catches and 10 touchdowns from Julio Jones every single year. I think that was very much worth it. And my last part of it is this. I think it's important to have stars, man. I think it's really important in your organization to have stars that create identity, that are part of the city, part of the fabric of the organization, and Julio Jones was that. Year in, year out, they knew they had one of the top-flight wide receivers in the game. It made one of the top-flight quarterbacks in the game better, and therefore they had an identity. One of the big problems here in Jacksonville is the lack of stars. Sure, there's been some. Even in recent memory, there was Maurice Jones-Drew, but who else that really stood out? And then you do get stars like Calais Campbell and Jalen Ramsey and others, and you can't keep them, especially on the Jalen Ramsey front. So now the Jags are back after stars. One of the big things about Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence will give them an identity, and obviously the most important position. But I think that is worth so much to the Jags organization. And therefore, I think Julio Jones was worth so much to the Atlanta Falcons organization, the city, the community, the everything else, the feel of it. That I think that is important. And I don't know how many draft picks that's worth, but I think it's important to have players like that. So I would say Atlanta did the right thing. They did not win big. I don't know if they had kept the picks and picked certain players if they would have won. That we will never know. But I do think at the end of the day, I think that was a gutsy move and one that paid off, I think, in the long run for the Falcons, even though they did not ever win a Lombardi trophy with them.
So if we're going off of the records now, because Julio Jones drafted back in 2011. So 2011, the Falcons go 10-6. 2012, they go 13-3. 2013, they go 4-12. 14, they go 6-10. 15, they go 8-8. 16, they go 11-5, followed by 10-6, 7-9, 7-9, and then last season was 4-12.
Okay, well, that's interesting now that you break it down that way.
But do you want to hear a really crazy fact here? And then once again, this is a ProFootballReference.com, which is usually pretty reliable. So he gets drafted in 2011. 2011, you know, they go 10-6. He wasn't the leading receiver. That title belongs to White. 2012, he wasn't the leading receiver. That was White again. 2013, he wasn't the leading receiver. That was Douglas. And then from 2014 to 2019, he was the leading receiver. Last year, obviously, he had some injuries.
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so if you break that down, maybe we're wrong.
Well,
because look at it now. Look, he's got 4 winning seasons and 6 losing seasons he's a part of. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying he is. Of 3 of those 4 winning seasons that you mentioned, he wasn't even the leading receiver on the team. Now, 4 of those seasons were double-digit win totals. Again, 1 trip to the Super Bowl, but 6 losing seasons out of the 10. I mean, was he that much of a difference maker? Would those 5, 6, however many picks been more of a difference maker from a team totality standpoint? I think you could make the case. Again, I kind of side with the Julio side of this. I think there are some subconscious things involved here that benefit the organization. But I tell you what, from a win-loss standpoint, a production standpoint with the win totals and what it did for the franchise, I think you could argue against it as well.
No, you definitely could. And if you really wanted to go by offensive ranking in terms of points or yards per year, I'll be honest with you, it's worse than I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there was one year back in 2016 where they were number 1 in points, number 2 in total offense in terms of their offense. But we're talking some years with Julio Jones, where he was the leading receiver, they were 21st in the league in points. They were 15th in the league in points. They were 13th, 16th, 10th. So it's actually a little surprising that, we talk about the Falcons, we talk about this high-powered offense and Julio Jones and Matt Ryan and all this stuff because, well, once again, their defense didn't do them a lot of favors either. But if you go to the numbers, they lean a little away from Julio Jones, actually.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's fascinating because we had the Waddle conversation yesterday. Like, how much should the Jags have given up if they valued Waddle as much as they did? Hey, we have South Beach Gary on the line. I know he's been hanging a while. Let's get him in right now here on ESPN 690. What's happening, man?
Hey, guys. I hear all this talk from the Jags brass that, they want this to be a first-class organization, as far as upgrades in the stadium, and they want the practice field, everything first top rate. But, I'm looking at the Dolphins are trying out Melvin Ingram. The Jags came off a 1-15 season. They should be bringing people in constantly. Nobody should be comfortable of their position as a job on that team when you're coming off 1-15, especially in the position that the Jags desperately need a pass rusher. Miami's 10-6. They're constantly bringing in people left and right to try and improve their team. Especially the Jags with their cap room. I don't see any excuse why Melvin Ingram isn't in here at least being looked at by the Jags.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, South Beach Gary. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I think you could argue two sides of that, Austin. I think with this team as young as it is and the amount of players that this regime already brought in the last couple of months, they kind of got to see what they have, don't they? I mean, You got to see. You had 23 draft picks over the last couple of years, or 22. All these free agents that have jumped in, and already some young core players. You kind of got to see what they can do. I get South Beach Gary's point, but I almost think when you're 10-6 and you're trying to get over the hump, that might be more the prime time to bring people in, try veterans out, see if one can stick. I think there's two different philosophies there, and I'm not sure the Jags one is a bad one.
No, for sure. I mean, and realistically, too, if we're talking about price tag on Ingram, I mean, he's going to be, I think, pretty highly priced. Now, I understand that the market for a pass rusher is down this time of year, or this couple seasons. But, I feel like Ingram's going to command at least $11 to $12 million a year. Is that crazy to say?
That's a good call. I guess he could. I don't know. The market has been weird, and he's had some injury troubles, right?
I mean, I would say at least 10. I would hope, but maybe not. Maybe
it's more like an $8 million deal. But I get what you're saying. I mean,
but,
are the that's my point. Are the Jags there that guy's going to make a difference in one or two games or a couple of big plays down the stretch? I don't see if the Jags are there to bring that in right now. I don't see, I'm not going to criticize him for not bringing in Melvin Ingram. I don't know. I don't think this is the time for the revolving door. I think it's kind of the time to see what you got and then see what you need.
No, for sure. If you find that, and that's the problem too. You have a guy like Kelvin Chase, and you're comfortable with Josh Allen. I understand that he underachieved last year, but you're confident with him going forward now. If you're playing a 3-4 base defense, you like Josh Allen there. Kelvin Chaison's the big question mark. Obviously, we'll see what he can do. I feel like a lot of this decision has to see, okay, can Kelvin Chaison be a starter going forward? I mean, he's put on some weight. He looks good. But, you pass the eye test, but can you pass the on-the-field test as well? Time will tell. I just don't think that I agree with you. It's not feasible right now to bring Melvin Ingram in. Now, if they sign him, I'll be the person to celebrate because he's a great player. He's a great edge rusher. He's only going to make that defense better. But, I'm also under the proponent where if Kelvin Chaison isn't the guy and you're not confident in your depth, then go after a guy like Justin Houston or something like that, who's obviously on the back nine of his career but can still provide some production as well.
I kind of feel like there are Melvin Ingrams out there to get, even sometimes in September when the roster moves are made. Not necessarily a lot of them, but I think there's the opportunity for that. I don't know if the opportunity when you're probably going to go from 1-15 to 6-11 or 7-10 at a high ceiling. I don't know if that opportunity is that exciting to me.
Yeah.
So again, it doesn't hurt to do it. But I think it's really got to be the right situation. I'd rather see Chaisson out on the field and see him develop than Ingram taking some of his snaps, I guess.
Yeah,
makes sense.
He's a hell of a player when he's on the field. 3-time Pro Bowler. Last year didn't have a sack in 7 games. 2019 had 7 sacks. 7 sacks 2018. 10.5 for his highest in 2017. So he's had 2 seasons of over 10 sacks, and then everything else is in the 7 to 8 range. So,
pretty average, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty average.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but keep in mind he plays aside from Joey Bosa too, so there's
fair enough. That tandem had some really good moments. Really good moments. I think he's a good player. I just don't know if I'm like, dang it, I can't believe the Jags didn't go after him. I've been like that with other players. I don't know if I feel that way in this situation. Hey, Wander Franco, how good is this guy going to be? And this is the week to get a glimpse of him. Should I be buying his rookie card off one of Ty's friends? That's really what I'm getting down to. Talk a little bit about that. Big night, big week here at the Jumbo Shrimp with some star power coming up on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Hot today under mostly sunny skies. We reach the low 90s. Inland in the 80s at the beaches. Mostly clear tonight, down into the mid-60s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
Boss, you're not going to believe what I found on the internet.
What, the moon is hollow?
No, not that. This. I just did a search and found yard signs for alarm systems for sale.
What? Just the sign? Just like without the security system?
Yeah. Look, you can get a big blue alarm sign for about $25. Ooh, delivered tomorrow.
They must not give a flip about their reputation.
Or their real customers.
Right? I bet you can't find a SafeTouch security sign on that thing.
Boss, SafeTouch wouldn't be involved in something like this.
Nope. When you see a SafeTouch sign, you know it's a real McCoy.
Right. The two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Which is exactly why we always stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Now, let's go find us some fake signs.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Need a good-paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven. It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half? That feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the ninth inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Summer dreams start in your new Toyota, so check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty, 30 days to love it or exchange it, and 3 years of complimentary maintenance, why wouldn't you buy new from Arlington Toyota? Plus, you can score some great deals during the Summer Starts Here sales event going on right now. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/May for full details.
Sometimes a family needs a little help to deal with life stresses. You can contribute to happy, healthy childhoods with a few simple steps. Notice families under stress. Offer a helping hand. Give your time.
Talk about healthy child development. Connect a family with resources. Contributing to a great childhood can be as easy as being a good neighbor. For more, preventchildabusefl.org. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
My son knows he should never touch my gun.
He never talked to me about his gun.
I keep the gun where she can't find it.
He thinks I don't know where it is.
She doesn't
I know.
Someone you love could be hurt by a gun accident in your home. Keep your gun locked away when it's not being carried.
Take the time to talk with your kids.
Have the talk with your family about gun safety.
Talk to your family about firearm safety. Learn how at projectchildsafe.org/welcome.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry. Because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-a-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call
GriffinService.com.
143261. Summer dreams start in your new Toyota, so check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty, 30 days to love it or exchange it, and 3 years of complimentary maintenance, why wouldn't you buy new from Arlington Toyota? Plus, you can score some great deals during the Summer Starts Here sales event going on right now. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/May for full details.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry. Because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-a-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call
GriffinService.com.
143261.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts now for their children and grandkids. So it's pretty cool to see that family tree grow.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years. Our non-commissioned sales associates are experts. They have only one goal: your complete satisfaction.
We have a 6,000 square foot showroom with anything and everything that you can want. Beards Diamonds has been family owned and locally operated since 1981.
40 years later, it's still our goal to offer the largest selection of quality diamond jewelry at the best prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed. The reason we can make that promise? As Beards owners, we are on the floor helping you with your purchase. We have no corporate bosses setting the price. The chain stores can't touch our prices. They just can't.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com. Come in and see us. We'd love to help you. Anybody that steps foot in our stores is automatically a part of the Beards family.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Summer dreams start in your new Toyota, so check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty, 30 days to love it or exchange it, and 3 years of complimentary maintenance, why wouldn't you buy new from Arlington Toyota? Plus, you can score some great deals during the Summer Starts Here sales event going on right now. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/May for full details.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
The Rock, out of nowhere, buys the XFL during a pandemic, mind you, goes half in with his ex-wife. So now you're going to business with your ex-wife.
Brent Martineau.
I don't know if that's on the business advice list.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Ryan Ripken, a lefty, swings at the first pitch, bounces one to first, right at Diaz, gloves it, 4 steps to his left to the pillow, Shrimp win. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp have their 6th consecutive win. It's their best winning streak in 3 years. And they roll over the Norfolk Tides. A final score today, 8-1 behind 2 homers from Jorge Alfaro, a long ball from Monte Harrison, and 5 dominant innings from Luis Madero.
That is Scott Kornberg on the call, and Scott Kornberg is right here with me right now. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp have been playing excellent baseball after a 12-game road trip. Unbelievable ball. They're back home tonight against the Durham Bulls, a very good team. Wander Franco for the Bulls, of course, here. But we got Jesus Sanchez lighting it up for the Shrimp, playing very good baseball back home on a homestand, and we're here for it at the baseball grounds, 121 Financial Ballpark, also Bragan Field. It's got a lot of different names. You just have one. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Brent. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Do you like hearing your calls, or
no.
You do not like hearing your calls?
I don't like it at all. I think I sound terrible, so I'm sorry to the listeners.
I think you sound great. We've been hearing you on ESPN 690. Glad to have you guys a part of ESPN 690. The broadcast has been very good, and so I like flipping it on and listening. So, by the way, you're a hero today. You just brought me a Diet Coke. It's
what else
steaming
do you need?
out here.
It's really hot. You know, I got to get your color here. You got a great color. I got to spend a whole radio show out here, I guess.
Yeah, it only takes about one. I've been sunburned 7 different times this year, usually just once. But, hey, this is exciting, right? I mean, first of all, baseball's back. You guys have announced, I think, to season ticket holders that full crowds will be back June 8th, if I have that date right. So there's a lot of good things happening. But seriously, it's fun when – I say this about minor league baseball a lot. It doesn't always matter to the fan if you go home with a W or an L. It's here about the entertainment. It's about watching prospects. It's about having a good time at the ballpark for a very affordable price. But it's cool when you do go home with a W and you're playing good ball and you're lighting up the scoreboard and Jesus Sanchez is hitting almost 500.
Right. No one's going to complain that the Jumbo Shrimp are winning, right? Like, obviously, we make our business model based on the promotions and everything else besides the baseball because – we can't control who's playing right field like Jesus Sanchez often is, so that's a nice benefit. But we're lucky. I mean, the Marlins have a great farm system. They're top 5 by any publication that you want to look at. And we're at a point right now, Brandon, as you see here, Starling Marte was taking batting practice a few minutes ago, so we're getting some major league guys too, which is really exciting. It's a great team on the field this year. 9-3 road trip. I mean, it's tough to win on the road in any sport,
Absolutely.
let alone go 9-3.
Gets a good team, too.
Durham and Norfolk. Durham's really good, and so we're excited to see them today. and Starling will be here for a couple days probably. Eleazar Hernandez is rehabbing too, but that's 4 big league rehabs in 4 weeks, so we're really excited. We've got a great product.
The cool part about being a minor league team right down the road from Miami, you get some of those rehab stints. I want to rip through some of these big name guys. First of all, Marte. What's he been up to? You said he'll be here for a few days. It's a chance for the fans to get a glimpse of him for a couple of nights.
Absolutely. 2016 NL All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. He fractured a rib, so he's working his way back from there. They asked him, how much time you think you'll need? He said 2 days. So in theory, if all goes well, it'll be short, but he'll still be here. Eleazar Hernandez is a little bit of a different story. He'll be here for about 2 or 3, maybe a week or 2 more, maybe 3. He's on the 60-day IL right now, coming back from a biceps injury, so he can't go back to Miami anyway until early June. So he'll make a start on Friday most likely, and then probably one more when the Jumbo Shrimp are on the road against Gwinnett next week. And then Jorge Alfaro hit a couple home runs in a rehab start, as you heard from that highlight, unfortunately for your listeners. But he was here for about a week and a half. Jazz Chisholm was here for a few days as well. So those are our 4 big league guys.
We got Jesus Sanchez. We talked about, we mentioned him, but he seriously is ripping it up. I mean, this guy that you mentioned to me in the break, he played in the bigs a little bit last year, struggled, but here he is lighting it up. I mean, is he going to be here all year? He cannot if he hits like this.
I wouldn't think so, right? He's batting .469, and that's over 16 games. He's got more multi-hit games than he has games with 1 hit or games with 0 hits. I mean, that is incredible. He's first or second in the league in every single offensive category, and he's also thrown out a couple runners on the bases this year. He's doing everything. So, in theory, you don't want guys to be here forever. I don't know what else he can possibly do, but he's just making a great audition to go back up to the majors.
Scott Kornberg with us, does a little bit of everything with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, including calling the games right here on ESPN 690. On the other side of things, this is what's fun about minor league baseball as well. I mean, you can kind of come check out the guy on the other team, and I think a lot of people will do that this week. Many tickets already sold out for some of these games. Wander Franco, I mean, Fernando Tatis comes to mind in terms of the talent. That's the kind of talent this guy might be. I don't know if he's got that same electricity, but what have you seen? What have you heard out of Wander Franco? What could we expect this week? And I don't expect to see him probably here in Jacksonville again. I don't think he's going to be down very, very long.
I think this could be it because the Super 2 deadline is coming up in the major leagues, and in theory the Rays might be holding him until then. But he's got some electricity. He hit a grand slam against Jacksonville in Durham a couple weeks ago, and Jazz Chisholm had homered the day before. And his thing is a Euro step to home plate. And Franco kind of pumped his fist around the bases, and he did a Euro step in the home plate.
Nice.
So I like that. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, he's fantastic. But they've got this other guy, Vidal Brujan, who is another really highly rated prospect. He's another guy that I think could make an impact for the Rays pretty soon because there's a lot of Rays fans in this area. And he's got tied for the most homers in the league with Sanchez. His also brought a speed element to his game, 7 steals in 8 attempts. So I think Brujan's 23. He's a little bit further along than Franco. But what Franco's doing is pretty amazing. He's only 20 years old, and he's in AAA. So he's going to be really, really good at the next level.
All right, here's the deal, okay? Ty, my son, his buddy, Henner Harvey, has like 4 or 5 Wander Franco, like perfectly minted rookie cards.
Wow.
All right? I've been telling him for the last few weeks I'm going to buy one off him. But he's charging me like $140.
Oh, boy.
Is it worth the investment?
Oh, gosh. You know what? I think you should do it. I think you're helping a kid out. You're maybe save for college, ice cream money. Or and I think, you know what, like the way this stuff could get valued, that can be a wise investment.
I kind of feel like it is. I think cards have kind of come back. They're in vogue again, too, especially if you're a stud player. I'd only imagine what like Fernando Tatis' rookie card looks like right now,
Yeah, I have to say that your son's friend has a pretty good way with money.
Yes.
He's not giving you a little bit of a hometown discount at all?
I think he should just give it to me for my birthday.
Yeah.
That would be better. But so, well, hey, the Jumbo Shrimp are home tonight. Coverage starts at 6:50 right here
sir.
on ESPN 690. Let me ask you one more question. Baseball's in the peculiar – we could talk all day about baseball. We've been talking about it. I think there are a lot of interesting things. But the cool nature of baseball, the bat flips, the everything else, are we seeing it at this level too?
Absolutely.
And is that now starting to just be an okay thing? I know once in a while we get the brushback pitch, the 3-0 count, the White Sox whole deal. But we don't see a lot of that anymore. What are you seeing at the minor league level?
I think it is becoming more prevalent here, and I think it's because there's a lot of young guys. And so for the guys who are maybe like Starling Marte's age 32, he's got some flair to his game. But that age group, it's less okay to flip your bat, to do something crazy. For these young guys, that it's okay, right? Like that's kind of what they're growing up with, looking up to Fernando Tatis, for example. So I think for those guys, you will see some guys – when they know it, they will flip the bat a little bit, the Euro step stuff. I mean, personally, I think it's great. I think it's awesome. And I think that, like, Jacksonville wasn't offended by what Wander Franco did by kind of mimicking Jazz Chisholm. I think they think that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I do think it's becoming more prevalent. Here it's a little different because you've got guys coming down. So, like, Chad Wallach just got optioned here, and he's a catcher who's in his late 20s, early 30s. And so you will have some of those older players, but there are still so many younger players coming up, and yeah, absolutely, like you're going to see that flair. I think it's great for baseball.
Yeah, the game's a change, and put your arms around it, embrace it, and enjoy it. We should see some really good baseball this week. Scott Kornberg, thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks for Diet Coke.
What else do you need? Let me know.
I'm good.
Thanks for having me.
You have a good call tonight. It'll be at 6:50 on ESPN. Pregame starts. It's the Shrimp. It's the Bulls. Surf and Turf Week, right?
That's right. This we're up 4-2 on Durham, so that's our first surf and turf rivalry here in Jacksonville.
I love it. Hey, we'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. More to come from the baseball grounds here in Jacksonville.
Wait, Brent.
Oh.
We have a special guest that wants to say something to you.
Brent, you know what, man?
To me?
Obviously, for your birthday, we spared no expense here. I tried to get Larry Bird to call in. Unfortunately, Larry declined me. But I got the next best thing, and probably more of an athlete than Larry Bird will ever be.
Please don't tell me it's like Marcel or Stewart.
No. Come on, man. No. Come on. I'm putting all the stops here. But he's probably a better athlete than Larry Bird. Probably not as famous, but in the same ballpark of athleticism. So take it away, special guest caller.
Austin, that is the best intro I've ever had. I am honored. But this is not about me. This is about Brent Martineau turning the big 4-4. Brent, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you very much. You did just remind me. Great 44s. Hank Aaron would be one of them, didn't you?
The best of all the ones you listed, my friend, would be Hank Aaron. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Big
Although
year there.
Jackson's a pretty good one. Who else did you have on that list?
Well, I had Miles Jack. Came top of mind locally.
Well, that's good locally, obviously.
Yeah, it's good. He's coming off a big year, so that's good.
Big year.
By the way,
real quickly,
Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah,
right? Hey, I'll tell you what else. Kaylee Brooke. Kaylee Martineau's wearing number 44 in the summer league.
Really?
So there you go.
Oh, well, that's the best. That's the best one yet so far.
That is the best one.
All right, so real quickly, what are your birthday plans there, pal? Besides working, are you working the TV in today too?
Yes, I'll see you in TV land as well. We're going to go live from here, though, because the Icemen have a big game. The Shrimp have a big one tonight. So we'll be live here at 6:50 on TV, and then I'll see you back in studio later.
Okay, good. Well, I'll look forward to razzing you off air. But happy birthday, and the best in the biz, folks. And so I just couldn't let it go without giving you a little grief. And Austin,
Thank you.
Thanks for the intro, buddy.
You're welcome, man. No problem.
Appreciate the shout-out.
All right, see you later.
All right, check out John on CBS 47 coming up at 5 o'clock, by the way, on Action News Jacks. You're a baseball guy. I was thinking great 44s, so we hit – Reggie wore 44, right? Yeah, Reggie Jackson.
Rizzo, I didn't even think about it. That was a good one.
Rizzo's a good one. Rizzo, by the way, another guy who's had some great moments already this year in terms of having fun with baseball, right? The whole Freeman stuff.
He's my wife's favorite player, so I'm a huge Anthony Rizzo fan because of that. But not too much, right? Like, she would leave me in a heartbeat.
Any other 44s?
I was thinking Bo Jackson, but isn't he 34?
He would have been 34 in football and 16 in baseball, wasn't he?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure. Austin, you got any 44 teammates at Murray State?
Oh, man.
Any 44s in the NBA Driving Dish podcast guy, Coos?
Shout out to Tamar Butler, who was 44 from my college days. But if you want to talk about baseball players, Willie McCovey, McCovey's Cove, he was 44.
McCovey was 44.
George Gervin, the Iceman, was 44.
Very good.
Jerry West was 44.
West was 44?
Jerry West was 44, and Pistol Pete Maravich was 44.
Get out of here.
Wow. There you go, man.
Really? I would not have guessed those two guys at the end there in the NBA. Of course, in the NBA, I only care about 33, as you know. I'm pretty sure, wasn't Danny Ainge 44 with the Celtics? I think he might have been. I should be better at these numbers. Getting old.
Better at that too.
We're getting old. All right, Scott Kornberg, have a good broadcast tonight, man. Appreciate you jumping down. Shrimp and the Bulls coming up tonight. Coos, we probably should just hang till the top. or should we take a break?
Oh, we can do
tell
whatever
me.
you want. I found this, by the way. I thought we might as well, throw this in here at some point.
Oh, nice. Is this for, like, Baby Sharks? Or?
Is this straight off TikTok?
What is...
I don't know. It just was in our. It was like it was a suggested audio today.
Oh, that's like in like the whole diet. Like that's in the big box of stuff that we have.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there you go.
That was Austin.
Yeah.
Since I have Wander Franco and talking about him and maybe Jesus Sanchez, you ever go see a minor league baseball player? Like you ever go to a game to see somebody on a rehab stint? Because, like, I grew up around that. I mean, we're Pawtucket Red Sox, so we saw Roger Clemens come down and Wade Boggs and Oil Can Boyd and all these guys would come down. Or for the other teams, whether it was Cal Ripken doing a stint with Rochester Red Wings or whoever it might be. I mean, we saw some great players. Like, that was what it was all about. That to me, that's what minor league baseball was. It was about the guy who was making the rehab stint.
So,
but
I'll tell
how about
you what. When I was a kid, and I didn't get to go see him, but it was like all the buzz around town. Alex Rodriguez played in Appleton, Wisconsin for the Timber Rattlers. I think at the time, actually, they were called the Foxes in Appleton. And Appleton was obviously the minor league team of the Seattle Mariners. So, like, you had, I think, Jay Buhner came by, Joey Cora came by.
Oh, yeah.
But Alex Rodriguez was the big name that came through. I think I got on a rehab or something like that where some of my friends went to go watch him play.
Well, that's interesting because Rodriguez obviously played here, too.
Yeah.
Back in the day for the Suns. So I think that's what makes minor league there's three things that make minor league baseball. Again, a little background on me. I interned for the Pawtucket Red Sox during my college years, and you could see the minor league baseball thing was very cool. A guy like Scott does 15 different jobs. Like, he was going to join us at 4, but then they made like 8 roster moves before the game, and so he had to like put everything out there. So he's like, hey, you mind if I come down at 4:30? But that's what happens here at the minor league level. Mm-hmm. And it's a very cool operation to see. It's passionate people about what they do, and it's usually a great group of people that like to work and get after it. It can be a grind now. Don't get me wrong. Everybody will have a day like that. But it's about the fans just having, like, going to see a ball game and kids going to see a ball game and maybe getting an autograph. And you get a little bit closer than you can at the major league level, especially nowadays. But then on top of that, to me, it's about seeing a Wander Franco or a Jesus Sanchez lighten it up, and maybe you see him in the big leagues tomorrow or a month from now or a year from now. And then the other part is you do get these rehab stints like a Starling Marte and maybe sometimes a really, really big name, like a Hall of Fame caliber guy comes down to do a rehab stint, and you get to go watch him play, and the place is packed, and you're trying to get his autograph and a picture, and those are the games you remember. I mean, I think that's what makes minor league baseball cool, and in many respects, it really helps kind of the city, the town, the kind of the feel and the vibe of it. I know it did back home when I was growing up, and I think the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp and previously the Suns kind of do a little bit of that here in town for everybody in Jacksonville.
Absolutely, man. Because it's like it's kind of like it's like that once in a lifetime opportunity because you understand, like when we talk about those big time ball players, those all-stars that are getting that call up, it's not going to last forever. So anytime you get a shot to see those guys in the ballpark at a smaller venue where it's a little more personal, you got to take absolute advantage of it just to say that you were there.
Well, and to that, Austin, you can see I'm holding up a hat right now. It's a bunch of signed hats from when I went to a Somerset Patriots game, right?
Okay.
And in the middle, I had him sign it in the middle. I remember Sparky Lyle signed it
man.
right in the middle there.
Nice.
So,
that is very cool.
Yeah. I forgot I got him to sign it, but I remembered the hat, so I just pulled it up, and I was like, oh, that's the name that I had. That was the big get that day.
That's awesome. I will say this. I've probably said it countless times on the show. My favorite interview still to this day is Pawtucket Red Sox owner Ben Mondor told me stories and stories and stories when I sat down with him when I was just a pup in the business about everybody that had passed through there, from Johnny Pesky to Ted Williams. I mean, it was so cool. And I think that's what you kind of help create the memories. You see it on the walls here a little bit for people that have been coming, for what the Bragan family did actually for all those years and decades here in Jacksonville with baseball and bringing it to the folks in Northeast Florida. And now Ken Babby and company continue to do it here with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Hey, we got a little football at 5 coming up. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 rolls on from the baseball grounds. Talk some Jags on the way. We've hardly done that here on a Tuesday, but we will. Football at 5 next.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
Happy Tuesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. And you may want to file this under not worth reading into, but Aaron Rodgers didn't show up for voluntary Packers minicamp, which is voluntary, but Rodgers does forfeit $500,000 for not showing up. Here's Rob Demovsky, ESPN Packers reporter, on the no-show.
Anybody who thought this wasn't a real beef between Rodgers and the organization, and believe me, there are some people who still didn't believe the story, should know now that it is real.
Former Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker Kelvin Smith, who was arrested in April of 2020, charged with unlawful sexual activity with certain minors, has pled no contest to child abuse and has been given 3 years probation. This is from his attorney. Smith retired for football in 2019. Don't forget to listen to your Jumbo Shrimp play the Durham Bulls tonight at 6:50 on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com. The SportsCenter Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Oh, boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 6, only settle when it's the right decision. We try cases all the time, but the truth is, most cases settle. With our lawyers on your side, the insurance company knows if they don't make a fair offer, then we will see them in court. Our experience will assist you in deciding whether to accept an offer or go to trial, and our advice will help you make the right decision. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
Are you interested in going into business for yourself? Do you know how to write a business plan? What is the best use of social media? What type of loans and other financing is available to a small business? These are among the many topics that SCORE addresses through the workshops and webinars we conduct all year long. Our presenters are subject matter experts and offer great insights that can make a difference to starting or running your business. Go to jacksonville.score.org and click on the Take a Workshop tab to see which one is of interest to you and sign up today.
It's so on. The SiriusXM Listen Free event is happening now. Just press the Sat button in your car to hear over 100 channels, including ad-free music of every kind, plus sports play-by-play and talking news for everyone. Enjoy even more free when you download the SXM app. Hear expertly curated podcasts, ad-free extra channels of music for any mood, SiriusXM video, and the ability to create your own Pandora music stations. Don't miss out. Listen free now.
Summer means longer days and sometimes longer weekends. Make the most of yours with Memorial Day savings now at the Home Depot. In-store, online, store-wide. Get grilling and saving with a 5-burner Next grill for only $199. Regularly $249. Save on everything from mulch to mowers. Ready, set, summer. Memorial Day savings. Here now, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done while supplies last.
I will hug my mom.
I can't wait to embrace my brothers and sisters from choir.
We ask people what they would do when they get back to their loved ones.
I'll do a big barbecue and squeeze every face in my family. My brother, he better be ready for that bear hug, too.
I need to hug my girls. Millions of people are getting vaccinated. It's our chance to get back to what we miss so much safely. And for people at higher risk of COVID-19 complications because of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart conditions, or if you're a heart attack or stroke survivor, the COVID-19 vaccine is an important choice. With every vaccine, we are closer to a future free of COVID-19. The vaccines are safe, effective, and the right response. Getting back to life. Set your heart on it. It's up to you. For more information, go to heart.org/vaccine. A message from the American Heart Association.
Jess's 30-minute bike boot camp? I guess it's that kind of day.
Are you ready for a total body workout, Peloton fam?
I am.
We'll start the class on the bike and then move to the floor. Let's get it.
With Peloton instructors right in your home?
Are you feeling it yet? Let's keep pushing for 5.
You have motivation that's ready when you are.
Clip off that bike and meet me on the mat for lunges.
I got this.
You showed up today, Peloton. Who's feeling sweaty and strong?
Definitely me.
Tap into your motivation at onepeloton.com.
Sometimes a family needs a little help to deal with life stresses. You can contribute to happy, healthy childhoods with a few simple steps. Notice families under stress. Offer a helping hand. Give your time. Talk about healthy child development. Connect a family with resources. Contributing to a great childhood can be as easy as being a good neighbor. For more, preventchildabusefl.org. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Yes, Packers coach Matt LaFleur watched quarterback Aaron Rodgers on SportsCenter last night. No, it did not change anything in his mind. LaFleur said today Rodgers knows how they feel about him, how important he is to the organization. They'll continue to work through this and hopefully get him back in the building at some point. Considering, though, the reasons Rodgers cited for the standoff, he's probably reached a point of no return with Green Bay, believes ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
When he starts talking about the culture and the people and like doing things the right way, like those are pretty hard shots to take at an organization. Like you're going at the integrity of the people. So I don't think there's much coming back from this. Like those are fighting words.
Hockey Hall of Famer Wayne Gretzky, stepping down as Oilers vice chairman, said amid the pandemic and life changes, he cannot dedicate the time and effort needed to support the organization. WNBA Phoenix star Diana Taurasi expected to miss at least 4 weeks with a small fracture to her sternum. Baseball, Phillies put slumping outfielder Bryce Harper on the injured list with a bruised forearm.
It's the perfect season to power your passions during Dell's summer sale event. Limited quantity deals include up to $400 off Dell XPS computers and Alienware systems, all powered by Intel Core processors. Just call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Here's how we solve everybody's problem. Brian Gutekunst apologizes to Aaron Rodgers with his actions, and he calls up Atlanta and says, let's make this real easy for both of us. You chose not to draft Matt Ryan's eventual heir apparent with the number 4 pick. You could have. You do need to address that at some point. I'll give you Jordan Love for Julio Jones. And in so doing, the Green Bay Packers have made the ultimate mea culpa. They've acknowledged what they did was wrong. So Brian, Mark Murphy, and Green Bay, you're welcome. Get on the phone with Terry Fontenot. Call up Atlanta. Trade them Jordan Love. Make him someone else's problem. Get Julio Jones in. And you might just bring Aaron Rodgers back.
That's Mike Greenberg. Listen to him 10 a.m. and noon. I love right here on ESPN 690. You can listen to us 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day on ESPN 690. Football at 5. And, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Aaron Rodgers probably gave us about another 3 weeks of content all around the country and here locally as well to speak about Aaron Rodgers. Poor Jordan, man. I mean, what did that guy ever do? Yeah. All he did was try to play football, get drafted, and Green Bay chose him, and now he's in the middle of this soap opera, and he's like, I haven't even played a freaking down.
Yeah.
I haven't even taken a snap. Nobody even knows what number I wear in the NFL. and make, like Greenberg says, make Jordan Love somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
Poor guy, huh?
I mean, it is a poor guy. You know, there were some rumblings around Green Bay, though, saying that he's not ready to be the leader yet. Going into his, I think it would be his second season. They don't feel confident of where he's at right now. Now, whether that's true or not, I mean, I'm not sure. But I don't know, man. Like, I get the sentiments spoken here by Greenberg, and it does make sense. Obviously, it shows that you're going to be with Aaron Rodgers for, the however long he's got left in his career, and I understand that. But to go from saying, okay, we found Aaron Rodgers' replacement, to Aaron Rodgers being upset about that and now to trade that replacement away for Julio Jones, and I'm not sure how many years Julio Jones has left in his career, so you're trading him for a first-round pick essentially. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it say about the GM that drafted Jordan Love then?
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, the bottom line is if Aaron Rodgers – it might be simple as this. It might be the GM or Aaron Rodgers. And so the Green Bay Packers are going to have to make that. This sounds like GM. This is what it's about. It was word that it was about that, and that hasn't been denied by Aaron Rodgers. And then he basically said, hey, listen, I love Jordan Love. I love my teammates. I love my coaches. But he didn't say anything nice about the front office. And the front office, the figure in the front office is the GM.
Correct.
And so I think this is all about him, and maybe that's the only way to salvage this. It might be Aaron Rodgers or the GM of the Packers. It might not need all this other stuff. Like, I just don't know if you listen to what Aaron Rodgers said, and maybe this is kind of the long game for him, or really it's a short game, to say, all right, give me somebody like Julio Jones and I'll be happy. Mm-hmm. But I didn't sense that, man. I didn't sense this was going away if you got him a player, right? Like, is that enough? I don't think so. I think this is more, like he said, it's about culture. It's about the people, and he doesn't like the people and the culture there right now and what they've represented, the moves they've made, and how they viewed this thing going forward. Again, this isn't that uncommon. I don't think, in my opinion, at the end of the day, when the Tom Brady book comes out about New England, I think the rumblings about what was going on in New England, and there might be some dissension amongst the ranks that started a few years ago. I think it was like a Sports Illustrated article or something. Yeah. And then the idea that he was getting out of there, I think this started like 5 years ago for Tom Brady, and their lack of commitment to him, even though he said, I am going to play until I'm 44, 45 years old. They didn't believe him. They didn't want to sign him to a long deal. They signed him to these 2-year deals instead, and sooner or later he was like, you know what, I'm out of here. You didn't believe in me. And so it's deeper than just go get me a player. And so I don't think that's the answer for Green Bay. Unfortunately, I think this could end up with an unhappy Rodgers still playing in Green Bay, but I don't think it's going away unless the GM goes away or Rodgers goes away.
No, I agree, because Julio Jones is essentially a Band-Aid that Green Bay obviously thinks that you can just put over this cut and it's going to be okay. But the problem is that it's not just a small cut. This has been a festering sore that it seems like the past 3 or 4 years. Because when you talk about culture and you talk about all these things, culture doesn't happen overnight, and culture doesn't change overnight. So if you have a problem with the front office, you have a problem with management, whatever the case may be, you have a problem with how things are ran, that didn't happen from just one season. This has been building and building and building for a while now. So to say, all right, let's get Julio Jones and let's let bygones be bygones, you're naive to think that way. Because it's going to take more than just one transaction, no matter how great that transaction is, no matter how much he can help the team, and obviously you at the quarterback position. I think it's even deeper than that.
Yeah, I believe it is too, and I don't know what the answer will be for Green Bay. I do think, like we've said, I think he's going to end up playing there. I just don't know if that's going to be a happy Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't mean you can't play well, though. I don't know if Tom Brady was happy all the time in New England. Still played pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers has always been happy in Green Bay. Still played well. I don't know if Brett Favre back in the day was happy in Green Bay. Still played pretty well. Mm-hmm. So I think that's just the nature of it. And, piggyback on what Kenny Mayne said to him, the way he phrased the question, and we talked about this in the early part of the show, but do you think there is still that massive divide of, hey, I'm the GM or I'm the brass or I'm the coach and you're the player? And that has really changed because of salaries, the power of the player, empowerment, if you will, and all these other circumstances. And we just aren't – some people won't admit it. Some organizations won't admit it. It seems like a team like the Seattle Seahawks have acknowledged it, acknowledged that, hey, there's some power in the player. And we got to listen to the player. And I don't even know if I'm accurate about the Seattle Seahawks, but it feels like it. Mm-hmm. But then there seems like there's other organizations, maybe Green Bay right here for an example, maybe even when – go back to the Coughlin and Jack situation here in Jacksonville, that they weren't ready to admit that was the way the world was changing. I'll be honest with you, at times I haven't been ready and willing to admit that. It's kind of doesn't feel like the way it has worked, but I think we have to acknowledge change. These guys are making $40 million a year. These guys are the quarterbacks are Tom Hanks in a movie. Guess what? Tom Hanks gets whatever the hell he wants in the green room.
Yeah, no, for sure.
For sure. I mean, that's the way it goes, and I just don't know if we really have come around fully on that with players, especially the power of the athlete and the power of the quarterback in the NFL.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think some people haven't seen the light yet, but at the end of the day, they better because, Bob Dylan said the times are changing, and they definitely are. And when we talk about the quarterback position, where you see the value in fantasy football, obviously, you see the value of their paychecks. You see how the rules are changed to suit team scoring and helping out the quarterback. You see how the rules are changed to protect the quarterback. You see how all the endorsements usually go to the quarterback. It is the outlier position. It is the most important position, I think, in all professional sports. So when we throw all those attributes into the blender, you better believe that they're ranked higher than everybody else's. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because you play the quarterback position doesn't mean you've earned the right to be above everybody else on your team. That comes with winning. That comes with putting up stats like Aaron Rodgers has done. Like Russell Wilson has done and is on his way to doing even more. Like maybe Deshaun Watson has done in a short amount of time, like Patrick Mahomes has done. Like, just because you play a quarterback in the NFL and you're starting doesn't mean like you have all this cachet. But once you've established yourself as one of the best quarterbacks in the league, then yeah, you essentially, I think, in my opinion, you have a say on that team. And your opinion should be valued because you are that important. Coaches will say it, players will say it. Like, everybody's on the same page here. A top 5 quarterback is so important to a team, and it makes things so much easier in terms of trying to hoist that Lombardi trophy. So if we're talking about all of that, then yeah, you better show them a little extra respect as opposed to maybe a defensive lineman or even a wide receiver, just because they are that important. So they should be treated as such. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but that's the way that it is.
The reason I bring up, I love these conversations this offseason, from Watson to Russell Wilson, and again, the Watson conversation has really pivoted in terms of what that means, but the way it started is what I'm talking about. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers now. From Tom Brady's before, and watching the power of Brady dictate some of the players that are there. Like, I think Antonio Brown officially signed today with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think if you go back, it was kind of like Drew Brees was going to do what Drew Brees wanted to do on his terms. The reason I bring that up a lot, Austin, and I think the reason why we talk about it a lot, is you don't have to get down the road too far before this organization right here across the street from where I am at the baseball grounds might have to think about some of these situations. You almost hope they have to think about some of those situations, because that means Trevor Lawrence is really damn good.
Sure.
And that means that you have one of those guys, and you better, at the way I just phrased it on social media when I asked, I said, do you have to cater to the quarterback? It doesn't matter. You have to do that with kid gloves, but also with acknowledgement of the other 52 in the locker room. But still, quarterback is king. Quarterback's making $40 million. Quarterback kind of gets what quarterback wants. I mean, that looks like the way we're headed. And if it works out in Jacksonville, it might be the way they're headed here in Jacksonville too.
See, and I get what you're saying, but to me, it's not even catering to the quarterback. It's just showing them respect. Like, some of the greatest minds in the NFL are some of the worst people, persons you're ever going to meet. People, whatever you want to say. The worst people they ever meet in terms of dealing with people. Because, like, when we talk about Deshaun Watson, yeah, now he's going through the whole slew of problems, but why did Deshaun Watson want out? It's because look what was happening in the organization. You essentially hired a former preacher to run things, and he was running it in the ground. And Deshaun Watson was the only guy that spoke out and said, hey, we get rid of this guy. What are we doing here? You had former players. DeAndre Hopkins came out and said, what are you doing here? You have current players saying, what are we doing here? And you got the sense that the culture was toxic. And Deshaun Watson having the power at the time like he did, being the quarterback like he is, a top 5 quarterback more than likely, he wanted out. What was Russell Wilson's problem? He wasn't getting respected because he didn't have any help in the offensive line. Guy was getting killed back there. Seattle refused to sign anybody. And all of a sudden, you rely on Russell Wilson the first part of the season to carry that team, to put up MVP-type numbers. And then what does Pete Carroll do? You know what? Our defense kind of sucks. So let's bail them out a little bit, and let's slow the game down. Let's run the ball a little more. Let's take away those, Pro Bowl type. Let's take away those maybe MVP-type numbers, and let's slow this game down to have our defenses back. That's not respecting the quarterback. And why did Aaron Rodgers want out? He told it to us, he told it himself. He wants out because he doesn't feel respected by the front office. Now, once again, you can go back to Jordan Love getting drafted. I'm not telling Aaron Rodgers. You can go by a whole laundry list, a whole slew of issues probably that Aaron Rodgers encountered. These aren't, it's not like, and I get it. The term diva gets thrown around. Brett Favre's doing his thing, talking all this trash. I understand all that. But at the end of the day, you just got to be people. You got to know how to treat people. And you have to know how to treat the most important person. If somebody wants something, then try to give it to them. Try to facilitate them or explain to them why they can't get that. Explain to Russell Wilson why he's getting sacked like 100 times a season. Explain to Aaron Rodgers, well, you should just tell him, hey, we're drafting a quarterback. Problem solved. Explain to Deshaun Watson why you want to keep a preacher over the players' opinions, over some of the coaches' opinions, and why this guy seems to be the king. Explain that to him. At least keep him filled in on this stuff because he is more important than your regular player.
Yeah, communication comes down to, which we've discussed so many times. We thought that went awry here in Jacksonville, and hopefully that's been fixed. You think about some of these situations. LaFleur is not a very veteran coach. He's dealing with the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love saga, all this stuff going on. You think about Arthur Smith in his first gig, now has a star player who basically is asked out, doesn't want to be in Atlanta. You think about Culley, it is in Houston, under the radar coach, but has to deal with all the Watson and Houston stuff. I don't know if I think the stuff Urban Meyer, who obviously is a veteran guy, he's kind of brought on himself from the hiring of the strength coach to bringing in Tim Tebow. But it's very interesting to see these new coaches or younger coaches and the stuff that comes with the position and how they deal with it. I don't think, like Arthur Smith, it's not make or break the Julio Jones thing. I think people get it. They kind of feel, okay, he hadn't been playing that. We already have Calvin Ridley. We got Kyle Pitts. It's like, okay, we can still score points. So it's a little bit different. But the Aaron Rodgers thing and LaFleur, I mean, that sets the whole tone of what happens, not only in the front office, but potentially with the coaching staff, because you lose Aaron Rodgers, you might lose a lot of football games.
Yeah.
And the Houston thing is just such a mess. I feel like that guy almost, and unfortunately, I feel like this. I don't know if that's probably not very fair to him, but I feel like it's a Band-Aid and a bridge until they figure it out in Houston and get it right. But if you look at the situations around the NFL, man, a lot of young coaches or new coaches in some peculiar situations.
No, for sure. And you know, it's the age-old question. Are you taking management or are you taking the quarterback? Because what is the goal in the NFL? It's to try to find that top 5 quarterback. It's why people make the trades. It's why they make so much money when you find one. And it's why, you know, sometimes in free agency you kind of risk it for the biscuit a little bit. Like it's that important. But at the same time, you know, whether you side with Aaron Rodgers or management, how long is Aaron Rodgers going to be there for? How many more years does he have left? Right? So, you know, it always is the catch-22 because coaches and GMs, if they have success, their shelf life, depending on the age of the quarterback, will probably be longer. But the quarterback obviously has the direct reflection on a game and can have the effect if you go to a Super Bowl or not. So it is kind of a slippery slope to say, well, who are we going to side with here? Who are we trying to make happy? The culture and the coaching and the GM, or the guy that has probably the most power to actually get us to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's a fascinating dynamic in today's world. And I'm not saying it hasn't been a thing in years past. It just feels like it's in more volume. And in the sport of the NFL, I think we've seen it in other sports, from especially the NBA comes to mind in terms of that power struggle sometimes, star athlete, management, coaches. Hey, one other thought. Jags, the NFL, Judy Batista tweeted today that 30 of the 32 NFL teams have already been approved for like full attendance in the preseason. And it looks like training camp practices can be open to fans. Hey, what a big win here in Jacksonville that would be, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yeah,
I mean, how? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how could it not be? You know, I mean, yeah, obviously people are going to load that TIA Bank Field week 1. Or I'm sorry, week 2 it would be because you're on the road week 1. But, I mean, to see it in training camp, you know, I mean, training camps always, I remember back in 2010, I mean, it was always a great atmosphere of people coming out. Now we had the Oklahoma drills because Jack Del Rio wants to put on a show, prime time, like at 8 o'clock at night when we had to practice, a little aggressive. But, yeah, well, why would you not want to see Urban Meyer in the flesh? Why wouldn't you not want to see Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and all these guys? Like, yeah, I think it's huge news.
I can't remember. Who was it? Was it Bortles? Who would it have been? Was it What rookie camp was it years ago where people were looking under the fence? I think it was Bortles. Did they really do that for Bortles?
I was going to say, it's a very aggressive maneuver for Blake Bortles intrigue.
This was before it all unfolded.
Okay.
So, but there was a rookie camp that basically they sold out, and there were people peeking in under the fence.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
And peeking in through the fence. Like it was really one of those scenes out of like an old baseball stadium view of trying to see like a Hank Aaron home run or something, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously it only holds a couple thousand people, so it's not like there were 100,000 people outside the practice facility. But you get my point. I kind of feel like it will have that kind of buzz for a camp practice open to see Urban Meyer with a whistle, Trevor Lawrence throwing a football, and Tebow wearing number 85.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to wrap my arms around it, man, but I understand the second game and all that stuff. Yeah, that's down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Practice on July 28th or 29th over there at that stadium.
Yep.
Holy cow. Bring in some extra security.
No, for
Place
sure.
is going to be a mob scene.
For sure. And listen, and if someone's interested in a media pass, slide in my DMs a little bit. I'm trying to get a Cybertruck, so maybe, we can black market that media pass. I'm just kidding. Not going to do that.
Yes,
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you
I'm
won't get
happy,
in the press box again.
I'm just I'm not expecting to anyways. I don't know. We'll see. Kuz, you trying to go to the press box to try and see that +2 mentality in terms of that food?
Oh, yeah.
+2 mentality, baby. I can't wait to see what they're going to offer us now.
+2 mentality with the food.
What are you talking? Hey, Urban Meyer made it very clear. It's going to be a complete paradigm shift in terms of the best of the best. And you better believe he's treating the media the best as well. So I can't wait to see what a +2 mentality, a +2 spread looks like in that press box. Hey, see you later, egg rolls. We're talking like filet mignon and lobster tails.
Yeah, like what's the +2 of those nachos? Because the nachos were great.
I mean, listen, the nachos were great. The spinach artichoke dip, not too shabby.
What's a +2 of that?
Of nachos? Oh, it's going to be like seafood nachos. Shrimp, crab, lobster. Yeah.
+2 mentality means you get two sides. you get if you want flaming hot Cheetos to go along with your Chips Ahoy cookies.
No. Oh, Kuz, you gotta save that, please. That's gonna be playing every intro, please. Oh, that's awesome.
I will say, though, I mean, listen, Urban, there's a lot of pressure on you now. You got to beef up that food. It's not for me. I tell people it's for the national media. It's for the people coming in who want you raving about the food and the press box and everything else in Jacksonville. I mean, it might be for Kuz and all, too. I don't care. I'll eat the green hot dogs. It doesn't matter.
Hey, wait.
But
here's my pitch, though. Have a local food truck. Like, cater.
Where?
The media box.
In what?
Have a food truck cater it. Like, they can be parked outside, but bring the food
you
up.
can do that.
Okay. I thought you were like, were they going to pull up in the stadium?
Sorry. Well, I guess you could right by the door. I don't know.
Sure.
I think that's a lot of food for the food truck to produce.
That is
though.
a lot, yeah.
I mean, I would be surprised.
It's +2. What do you want me to do? Let's go.
You get Tony Khan's ear a little bit. Tell him a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Still, hey, I go back to I'm excited about this now because camp's going to start around again July 28th. I think is the date. It's usually like a Thursday at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And I would assume most of those practices are going to be open. I don't know how much they'll control some of that, but there'll be a lot of them open. And it kind of just hit me just to see that scene as I look over the stadium. I mean, we saw the scene at the PGA Championship. We saw sports kind of come alive at Madison Square Garden. I'm not trying to over-dramatize, but my point being, it's like it's back to normal, and people are starving for a little bit of it too. And they're starving for it in Jacksonville because there's been a buzz about it since last December. And there is a little bit of part of this, and you add Tebow to the mix, and there's going to be more to it. So there was already you could take Tebow out of the picture, and it would have been Urban, and it would have been Trevor, and it would have been Wild. Yeah. And I think people, as Ben Becker just texted me, the Knothole gang, I think he said, peeking through. I think you're right. I mean, I think there will be that element, but you add Tebow to the mix now, and you do get another element. That's just reality, whether you like it or not.
For sure.
That's reality. So that is cool, man. It's going to be a buzz. There's been a buzz all the way up through the draft. right? There's not a buzz about Thursday when we go out to the OTAs, let's be honest. There's not even a buzz when we go to Jags mini camp in a couple of weeks and we spend 3 days out there watching. Sure, we get to talk about it, we'll see it. But the next buzz is training camp. And now the fans are going to be allowed, and we kind of thought it would go that way, but it looks like it's officially going to go that way. I mean, I can feel that. I can sense that. I mean, I think that is cool. That's what it's all about, and it's good that we're feeling that. Heck, we're feeling that off a 1-15 team. So, and then the next phase will be, of course, the games, and preseason games have full capacity. Regular season games can have full capacity. I expect some of those early games. We'll see how the Jags do. But I think we're going to have close to sellout crowds here in Jacksonville to get a glimpse of what this football team looks like.
No, for sure. And it's good stuff, man. It's all about the hype, right? Like, yeah, we'll see how this season plays out. We'll see if they can overachieve and maybe make a playoff run here in November or December. That's fine. But right now, all you got to go off of is the hype and get excited. You know, I mean, when's the last time you've been this excited in a Jaguars offseason? Probably 2018. Well, careful that Nick Foles. I mean, people were excited for the most part, but there was a group of people that weren't too excited. But like, this is the first time in a long time it feels like where there's just so much hype and so much energy.
Somebody confirmed with me, by the way, too, if that was the Bortles. I feel like that was the Bortles minicamp.
I'm shocked.
But I know it does kind of sound, even coming out of my mouth, but it wasn't like the Gabbert minicamp, man. You were there. You would have been playing. It wasn't that. It was more recent than that.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty sure it was the Bortles rookie minicamp when they picked him. You know, keep in mind, they picked him 3rd overall. That was a big deal.
Sure.
So
still shocked, though.
Yeah, but you're shocked almost in hindsight to realize
but of
that.
course, Brett, I've seen too much. What do you want me to tell you, man? Yeah.
I know, you're scarred.
What do you want me to tell you?
So are you telling me that the Not Whole gang was out in Green Bay during OTAs the last couple of days for for Blake Bortles up there in Packerland?
Real quick question, because I don't want to lose focus of the most important part, and that's the press box food and stuff like that. So I mean, you've obviously been to many press boxes. What would you say? Who has the best accommodations?
It's so funny you said. I just was talking to somebody about this yesterday.
Good. So it's fresh
had
in
a
your
lunch
mind.
with somebody. Yeah, it is. It
like
really is. And I told this person, at least I've been to every stadium except for the new stadiums now, like the LA ones, and Lambeau. Haven't been to Lambeau.
Yeah.
There are some good stadiums that stick out in terms of food. You know, Patriots in a playoff atmosphere, they'll break out the clam chowder and stuff.
Okay.
Pretty good, you know. And the Seattle has like Starbucks like in the press box making Starbucks for you, and it also has good food.
Okay, I was gonna say that's coffee. It doesn't.
Yeah, I know, but no, it's good.
Okay,
it's good.
Food. Good food.
There are other
sushi
ones
and stuff.
There are other ones that are probably pretty similar in terms of it's pretty good, but nothing that I remember too much about.
Okay.
But I think the number one press box food that I've encountered in the NFL.
Write this down, Coos.
This was before they got good and won a Super Bowl. Is the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Really?
Yes. I wonder if my colleagues would agree.
Okay.
But it's very good in Tampa, and has been. Like, we've been to Tampa a few times, and so they do a very good job. I think the Tampa spread is very good.
Wow.
Now, that's the one that I remember, and that sticks in my mind the most of being excellent. So I think that would surprise some people. But, yeah, very good there in Tampa.
Do you think it was like, hey, we know the product on the field kind of sucks and we're maybe a smaller market, but like, hey, national media, you still want to come here and cover us because we have the good spread?
Hey, I'm not lying to you. I think that should be kind of the case here in Jacksonville. Yes, it was when Tampa was terrible. But there's something about it, you know? If you have a national media guy come in and like, but I remember that Tampa food was pretty good. You know? You want something good about the experience. It didn't matter the product on the field, you know? on a primetime game, they'll break out the fondue thing here in Jacksonville, so they kind of spice it up with the Peterbrook and all that. But still, it's like, okay, but it's like a one-time thing. Like, we know you're just showing off for whoever's coming in with the Thursday night crew, you know? But again, I got to be completely honest with you. I don't care about the press. I appreciate the press box food. I don't care if it's good, bad, indifferent. It's free. So I don't really care. Like, I really don't. Genuinely say that. But I do think it does, like, there's a subconscious to that, to some others. Like, I think the Jags could do better with that. And I think it will have actually some crazy, weird kind of value. And I think Tampa does that for me. Again, I just named I could name 31 other teams. And Tampa has been really pitiful on the field up until last year. I remember their press box food.
I can't wait week 2 when I get my credentials. And like, 'cause you know me, because like we do like our 3 observations video, so I never actually go interview players or coaches. You better believe, because we're there hopefully we're there week 2 in the press box. If it's not up to stuff, if it's not up to +2 mentality, the first question I'm going to go ask Urban Meyer when I'm in that press conference. Hey, Urban, heck of a game, but let's focus more on the food real quick. You promised us a +2 mentality. Can you explain what happened up there in the press box for the food?
If I'm the Jags too, I'm like petty about it, and like with the food truck idea, put signs next to all the foods, like sponsored by local advertisers.
Yep. Now we're talking. Keep it local. I'm just saying,
all local
I will
stuff.
make a TikTok video if I have to expose the food if it's not +2 mentality.
They also might clap back, as you guys like to say, and say, "Hey, media, be better." That's what I'd do if I was the Jags. So, hey, let's hit. Speaking of all this food, I need a drink. How about the happy hour award here on a Tuesday from the ballpark?
Good vibes. Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. It's a celebration.
VitaDeLuis.com, the place to go, where you can find a bottle of Vida de Luis tequila, 3 different flavors, Añejo, Reposado, and Blanco. Locally owned tequila right here in Jax Beach, all the way from Tequila, Mexico. Check it out, VitaDeLuis.com. Check us out for a half hour to go here from the ballpark, Bragan Field, 121 Financial Ballpark, the baseball grounds. Jumbo Shrimp and the Durham Bulls tonight, and across the street we got the Icemen playing in a big one here on a Tuesday night. So a lot going on downtown. Stay with us. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Sunshine this afternoon. Temperatures well into the 80s at the beaches, but dropping off a little bit as that sea breeze picks up to the low 90s inland. Mostly clear and nice tonight, down into the 60s, and sunshine for tomorrow on Thursday. Highs in the low to mid-90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
Boss, you're not going to believe what I found on the internet.
What, the moon is hollow?
No, not that. This. I just did a search and found yard signs for alarm systems for sale.
What? Just the sign? Just, like, without the security system?
Yeah. Look, you can get a big blue alarm sign for about $25. Ooh, delivered tomorrow.
They must not give a flip about their reputation.
Or their real customers.
Right? I bet you can't find a SafeTouch security sign on that thing.
Boss, SafeTouch wouldn't be involved in something like this.
Nope. When you see a SafeTouch sign, you know it's the real McCoy.
Right. The two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Which is exactly why we always stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Now, let's go find us some fake signs.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jack's Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the Golf Club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the Golf Club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students, elementary through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org to learn more.
You know what's good today? Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. If your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's working hard every day and getting almost everyone approved. With over 300 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from, Arlington has what you're looking for. So much selection. You also get a 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Now that's good. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hey, are your car payments too high? Are you stuck with a less than stellar loan or just need a little room in your budget? Then you need to refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put up to $300 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town, period. So make some room in your budget and put some cash in your pocket when you refinance with One-to-One Financial. Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at one-to-onefcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
There's 3 islands, and it can be very nice and lucrative, by the way. You could be a huge winner, but you could be a huge loser, too. You might not have a boat to get home.
Austin Lane.
Well, I like that now. I love that analogy.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I don't think nobody's embarrassed. I think that's just part of the game. They just whooped that tail. They did. But, you put this behind us. We got 2 days to get ready for this next one. I mean, I think you kind of got to just leave it at that. I don't think, frustration is going to change anything. I think you just got to compete a lot harder, do things the right way. All in all, we realized we lost this game together. We went down. We are down 0-2. We're down 0-2 together. And whenever we get home, we're going to be together and then we play game 3.
All right, that's the Miami Heat. I'm thinking that's Adebayo.
Bigger star.
Oh, is that Jimmy?
That's Jimmy, yep.
Jimmy Butler, yes. Boy, are they getting whacked.
That was, yeah.
132 to 98 last night. The Heat lose to the Bucks. Might as well talk about the Bucks, considering Austin's not here. Lost first game by 2 in overtime, but that was ugly last night. It sometimes happens. I would expect Miami to put up a bigger fight and not go away, and maybe even steal a game or two. I think that was just a one-game thing. I don't know if that's indicative of how much better Miami or the Bucks are. I think they're better. I don't know if that's indicative of how much better they are. What do you say, Driving Dish podcaster?
Yeah, I think it was a perfect storm of the Bucks just couldn't miss from 3. I think they had 15 by half, 15 threes. Brian Forbes, like we were talking, like everyone was kind of talking about today, had 6 of those, and I know a lot of them were in the early parts of the game. And then you look at Miami for it; they were 8 for 28 from 3. While, like I said, the Bucks were 22 for 53 for the game from 3. So it's one of those things where you had a team that just couldn't miss from 3, and then you had another team that wasn't even close to hitting a 3, and that's when you start seeing these wild scores. Like I turned it on because I was making dinner, in the beginning or end of the second quarter, and it was like 67 to 36, and I was like, whoa, what is going on here?
Yeah, and by the way, I think Miami made 23s in the Saturday game. They lost by a couple in overtime. So, I mean, that will speak that speaks volumes. They made 8 threes in this game.
And on top of that,
they were never in the game. It doesn't matter.
No,
they were never in it.
They never were in it. And I mean, you had 3 guys on the Bucks making 3 or more threes, for the entire game, and all of them shooting essentially 50% from 3. So, even Giannis hit a 3, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, true. Anything outside the circle might be surprising. Restricted area, excuse me. Celtics, Nets. Give me the biggest game of the night. The most important. Which game, too, is most important to whatever team, all right? Yeah. Celtics, Nets. The Nets lead 1-0. But they're such a heavy favorite, man. Lakers and Suns. Obviously, the Suns lead 1-0. Lakers only scored 90 points. Anthony Davis was terrible the other night.
Yeah,
Mavs and Clippers, by the way, go. And that's a 1-0 series lead by Dallas on the road. In a very, very good series. Which game, too, is most important to which team?
Yeah, I think both LA teams are going to be the ones to watch in terms of important. Yeah, Boston, you can't go down 0-2, but I think, with Brooklyn, it's kind of expected for them to win. So the reason I say probably the Lakers being the biggest one, because they're technically the worst seed, but I don't think they're necessarily the underdog in terms of expectations. So if they go down, 2 to the Suns, you're in panic mode, and you don't want to go down, 3 games. And so that would create that narrative. And especially if Anthony Davis and LeBron James come out and, quote unquote, struggle again, then the national media is going to be all over them about it. And I think you could probably say the same for the Clippers too. I just think it's heightened because it's the Lakers. So Lakers, Phoenix is probably the biggest one of the game that people are going to be paying attention to.
It's interesting here, Kuz. I think you're in tune with this. You live in that NBA world way more. But, see, I don't really I understand, it's LeBron, it's Anthony Davis. But they won last year. There's not a lot of pressure on these guys. They've been banged up. They've been in and out of the lineup. They've got excuses, and they won last year. Like, they already got it done. I don't feel like there's a ton of pressure. I feel like, now the Clippers are just not as high profile of an organization.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're the ones that should feel a ton of pressure. They built that team to win. They failed miserably last year. They fired Doc Rivers, who now is the number 1 seed in the East, to the team that he went to.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the Clippers, again, if the Clippers were named the Lakers, there would be a ton of pressure on them.
Exactly.
But they're the Clippers.
And to that, yes, they're on the short list of, like, if you were to look at the teams that there would probably be some heavy changes if they're knocked out in the first round. The Clippers are definitely on it. I think Boston's also on it, but that's from a different standpoint. You know, Portland Trailblazers, another team, if they get bounced in the first round, it's like, how many years are we just going to run the Dame and CJ show and go from here? Where the Lakers, yes, they won last year, so the expectation for that isn't, or, you know, the panic to get there isn't there. But I think when you're LeBron James, always the expectation with a LeBron James team is to be in the finals, and so that's why it could look a little bit different. Like, you worked so hard to just get to the playoffs, essentially. To get bounced in the first round, that's a bad look for LeBron, and you know, people will use that against him, specifically when it comes to the MJ-LeBron debate, you know?
Yeah, listen, it's a massive story if they were to get beat in the opening round, but I just feel like in the grand scheme of things, I don't feel it to that degree.
They're not going to be firing a bunch of people like potentially the Clippers do, or you're not going to be selling half the team and moving and trading and doing all that stuff. Yeah, I agree
they'll
with
reload. You know what they'll do? They'll spin this to be like, hey, at least he didn't have to go another 2 months. LeBron can freshen up for the offseason. Anthony Davis can get right, and they'll make one more run at it next year. That will be the narrative.
Speaking of that, you just made me think of this. The news came out today that Klay Thompson's not going to be ready for the beginning of next season already. Wow. And that's kind of surprising that news comes out now. I know they're trying to keep him safe. Obviously, you don't want to, you know, that's 2 injuries in a row. Two ACLs in a row, so you know you got to be careful with it. But I was surprised that news came out today before, you know, this season's not even over.
What's the best series opening round before we head to break? Do you think it's the Mavericks Clippers, or is it the Hawks and the Knicks? But I mean, doesn't it have to be the Mavericks and Clippers? I mean, the star power is unbelievable. Here's the deal: both of those teams you think could threaten to win it all. I don't feel that way about the Knicks or the Hawks. I mean, the Knicks are a great story. It's a fun story. The whole thing's cool. Trae Young, great. It has some energy to it. I'm not dismissing it. That's why I put it in the conversation. But I don't think anybody really feels like either team can go win it all. I think you got Doncic against Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, and they've already taken game 1, and they, because of their superstardom, they might be able to go on a run. I'm not sure many people are going to predict it, but I feel like that's the best series of the opening round. Am I wrong?
To be honest, you're probably right. Now, again, I'm coming from a different angle. I think the one I'm really intrigued on right now is Denver-Portland. You got Dame, you got CJ, you got Jokic. Jokic being probably the MVP this year. They're tied 1-1 after last night's win for Denver. I think that might be the most exciting, or the Miami Heat Bucks. Although last night was such a blowout, you can't really get it. You can't really get into it.
Well, it is 2-0 now too.
Yeah,
you know?
And so it makes it a little less intriguing. So you're probably right with Dallas and the Lakers and the Clippers being the most exciting. Though I think there's arguments for other ones. Like if Memphis wins again tomorrow against Utah as an 8th seed.
Oh yeah.
Then there's going to be some eyes looking at them as well. So
yeah, I just don't think anybody believes that.
Yeah, but that could be Ja's moment. You know, like this is really Ja's chance to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. One last thing. The reason why I believe the series that I mentioned are the best series is in part because the road team won the first game.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Yep.
And so that's, to me, like, I don't feel that way about the Bucks Heat because it's 2-0. You know, I haven't seen any surprises there. That doesn't look like it's going to be a great series, especially after game 2. I get what you're saying about Memphis. I just don't feel that one yet. They're going to almost have to they're going to have to win another game to get to either 2-0 or 2-1 for me to feel that way. But I love that Mavericks Clipper series, and I'm not even a locked-in NBA guy. I just think there's some really cool stuff going on, along with the Trae Young and Atlanta against the Knicks. All right, let's take a break. We're live at the baseball grounds. Put a bow on the show here today in case you missed any of it. Some big, fun storylines in sports. We'll revisit them before we head out of here on a Tuesday on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Tuesday. I'm Jake Mitchell, and you may want to file this under not worth reading into, but Aaron Rodgers didn't show up for voluntary Packers minicamp, which is voluntary, but Rodgers does forfeit $500,000 for not showing up. Here's Rob Demovsky, ESPN Packers reporter, on The No Show.
Anybody who thought this wasn't a real beef between Rodgers and the organization, and believe me, there are some people who still didn't believe the story, should know now that it is real.
Former Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker Kelvin Smith, who was arrested in April of 2020, charged with unlawful sexual activity with certain minors, has pled no contest to child abuse and has been given 3 years probation. This is from his attorney. Smith retired for football in 2019. Don't forget to listen to your Jumbo Shrimp play the Durham Bulls tonight at 6:50 on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com. The Sports Center update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Where else can you get lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. Yeah, they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
Oh boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
Many of us have been fortunate to have someone along the way take an interest in our career or another aspect of our life. To a small business owner, it is important to have an objective voice to provide advice or guidance to help identify customers, answer a legal question, or review finances. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE is always looking for people willing to offer their time and expertise to mentor current or aspiring entrepreneurs. If you're interested in joining our team, go to the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org and start sharing your knowledge today.
I've been asked, did you plan on becoming the largest injury law firm in the world? And the answer is no. We set out to be focused on our clients and to have a commitment to trying cases and winning. And when you have those results at trial, you're able to settle most of your cases quickly and fairly. Hard work and client satisfaction was our plan. It worked. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Pregnancy can be an exciting time, but for many moms, it can mean feeling anxious, depressed, confused, or overwhelmed. Either during pregnancy or after having your baby, you may not quite feel like yourself. If you're experiencing these feelings, you are not alone, and mental health issues can be treated. Talk with your OB or connect with a mental health provider in your area by visiting flbhimpact.org. This message is supported by the Health Resources and Services Administration, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back live at the baseball grounds. Got a good game tonight. Jumbo Shrimp and the Durham Bulls. Wander Franco in town for the Rays. Rays won 11 in a row, by the way. Jumbo Shrimp have their own stars. Starling Marte on a rehab assignment. They also have Jesus Sanchez, who's playing better than anybody in minor league baseball right now. So come on out, check them out. The Shrimp are good. The Bulls are good. It'll be a good baseball game. You don't always get that at the minor league level, but this should be a good series. And I think there were tickets remaining for tonight and tomorrow, but some sold-out games going into the weekend with Thirsty Thursday and the rest. Check it out. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. If you can't come out to the game, you can listen on ESPN 690. Your home for Jumbo Shrimp baseball. Pregame starts at 6:50. First pitch right around 7:05. And the whole ballpark will start to open up now in the next homestand, which will be June 8th. So as the rest of the world is opening up, doing the same right here in Jacksonville in terms of full capacity crowds. Big news today as well. Training camp is going to be open to fans across the NFL, so that option exists. I would assume the Jags will utilize that option. It will be buzzing over there at camp when that starts. Looks like July 28th. I think I saw today veterans will report July 27th. So, hey, the later in July we go, the better. I like that. Makes summer a little bit longer before the football season comes. And preseason games will be open to full capacity along with regular season. Kuz, real quick before I go, I'm looking at the concession stand. I'm going to leave beer out of it because I know you'll go double-fisted on that. Peanuts, popcorn, brats, hot dog, pizza, candy, chips, or jumbo pretzel. What are you going to order? You get one.
Jumbo pretzel, no doubt.
Jumbo pretzel at the ballpark, really?
No doubt.
That feels like more of a circus item for me.
Oh, no, I'm all about the jumbo pretzel. Give me some of that beer cheese dip. That's my go-to move.
All right, maybe I'll go do that for dinner. All right, that's going to do it here on a Tuesday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Back at it at 3 o'clock. Just a reminder, go vote for our Athlete of the Week brought to you by Honda the Avenues. And you can purchase our Dream 18 card, now just $45 for discounted golf and some free stuff. Just go to ESPN690.com to do that. I'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good night, everybody.
I'm a call-it-like-I-see-it guy. Sometimes that twists the competition's panties in a bunch. Sometimes it causes pearl clutching. But it always lets you listeners